Starting the stream now. Yep, that's going. Oh, that's fine. I don't care. Dang, I miss having two working monitors. Really? The one we're doing right now? Alright, yeah, we're live. We all do. Yeah. You sound wonderful, Nathan. Beautiful. I guess I should. Let me just real quick make sure that we all sound good on stream. I'm sure we do.
If you hear my fan,
You sound wonderful. Oh, you guys are actually. You guys are actually super quiet on stream, so let me just turn you guys up a little bit. Let me just turn you guys up. It'll probably be loud for me, but. Okay. Let's see. Oh, you guys are actually super quiet on stream. Also, I'm sorry you can hear my dryer dying in the background.
okay, I know. The sounds good. They just put in that quotes. Spelled the boys like we did in the group chat.
Oh, okay. Sorry you can hear my
Hey Ryan.
dying in the
And
background.
sound like an S of all the D's are supposed to be
Oh.
Aren't we technically about to rip off every frame of pause?
Dude, that's why I had the idea.
Except this isn't going to be like 10 hours.
I'm not asking. It's not gonna be as good as the effect people. This isn't Overwatch. I mean, if we're gonna cover this, let's stream it.
Guess I could just turn up the desktop audio a little bit. I love troubleshooting stuff.
That's great.
Are we still too quiet?
Yeah, but it's not. Or wait, I don't know. I just turned everything up a whole bunch.
I can't wait to have to fix my monitor that broke prior to this.
I love troubleshooting stuff.
I need to fix my monitor too.
Okay, no, you guys sound good now.
Okay. So like fix the title though.
Alright. What do I put around the quotes? I'm sorry.
Put the name of the video. She-Hulk is great in quotes.
Oh.
And then spell boys with an I, like we do in the group chat. Then it's perfect.
Okay. Alright, welcome to the stream, everybody. Yeah. Okay. We should be good now.
Oh wait, hold on. You may want to test the volume of the video too.
Oh yeah. That's true.
Because it's all independent to you.
Yeah, I'm sure the video's fine, but let me turn everything up a whole bunch.
I mean, yeah, let's just play it.
Start to notice something.
I need to fix my monitor too.
Okay, no, you guys sound good now.
Man, I already miss having 2 monitors. It was so useful.
Yeah, me too.
I just don't. I don't know what happened. I'm watching House of the Dragon and it just my main monitor just stops working.
Yeah, having 2 monitors sure is great, isn't it?
I have no idea what happened. It's just this like tiny sliver at the top that I can see, and I can see my mouse where it displays, and the rest is all black.
Okay, it's a little quieter. I just turned it up, so it should be okay now.
Okay.
The effect is you like She-Hulk is crazy, or She-Hulk is the worst Marvel show. And I think
Just double checking real quick. Sorry.
It baffles me that this is his favorite show of the Disney like MCU shows.
Out of
I
all
don't
of
get
them, yeah, out of all of them, which one do you think is the best, Ryan?
That's a good question.
I'd probably go with Hawkeye.
I haven't even seen Hawkeye.
Hawkeye.
I'm guessing it's Hawkeye.
Yeah, Hawkeye's the best one because it actually has like a few interesting characters, and that's really it.
But it still doesn't touch
Like,
something.
This is the worst one.
It still doesn't touch much better shows like Peacemaker, Invincible, or The Boys.
Or Daredevil.
Well, I was thinking more so recent stuff, Caden.
Oh yeah. Okay, we're good.
Okay.
Wish I could put on
that's
caps.
great, because I really do love this show. So does everybody I talk to. At least they all like it. Nobody hates it. So I go on YouTube
I don't buy that either. Like, what kind of fucking friend group do you have? Does this guy have where all of his friends agree with this opinion? Like, what? Everyone he knows likes She-Hulk, apparently.
I highly doubt that.
People who are still in love with Disney as a company.
It's a bizarre opinion to have, and I'll leave it at that.
So Satanist is what he's saying.
A bunch
What
of
you're saying.
YouTubers with videos about how She-Hulk is the worst TV show.
Let's look at some of these. I know Robot Head. What was another one?
Do and who to my wandering eyes do appear. But a bunch of
Kirk Jinker, of course. He's a good one. I haven't heard of Film Speak or the movie Cynic.
YouTubers with videos about how She-Hulk is the worst TV show.
Thorius Unlimited? I haven't heard of that one.
Made me want to come out with a video
Okay.
to explain
They're all
why
based,
I
though.
love She-Hulk. And if you're
Yeah.
wondering, well, why are you making this video now? There are still a couple of episodes left that have not been released. Well, A, I need a video for the end of the month, and B, I think there are people out there watching these takedown videos who've given up on the show, and I want to do my part while it is still going to make the case for why these people can get on board and enjoy the next few weeks.
So I'm kind of repeating what I said before we started the stream, but I just like this line of thinking where it's like, oh, there's all these takedown videos, and there may be souls on this earth who aren't going to watch She-Hulk because of them. So I want to do my part and make a positive video about it to hope to bring them back in. It's like, come on, dude.
Also, Ryan, Titania is the best character on the show because she makes Jen miserable.
I don't know about that. I don't know if that's enough.
It's enough for me.
If she kills Jin, then sure. I'm backing what best character.
Oh yeah, Ryan.
Yeah.
Did you know, like, at the end of one episode, her friends find this 4chan type website where everyone's talking about how they want to murder her or how
Yes.
she's stupid.
Yes, I saw that.
That scene was really, really funny.
It was.
Except they expect you to like take it seriously and be like concerned. Like, oh no. But it's such a dumb scene.
It's out of touch, like a lot of the show is.
Yeah.
So I'm going to break down why I believe She-Hulk is the best Marvel Disney Plus show. I want to be very
Like,
clear.
again,
I love how
the
he's-
best
Not in the Netflix
one.
stuff or Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or Runaways or any of that. Just MCU Disney Plus.
I love how he
WandaVision,
said that when
Falcon.
like the worst CGI was on screen.
I mean, at least he's like removing the Netflix
Yeah.
MCU film shows from the equation, but still, man, the best one. That is a wild opinion to have. But
Yeah,
you know,
that-
all that matters is the references and the arguments. So let's hear them out. Am I the arbiter of the pause button? You guys can play it.
Loki,
Okay.
What If, Hawkeye, Moon Knight, and Miss Marvel. And my thoughts will be in a numbered list because that's how these videos go. And then I want to talk about what's going on with the other side. Look at a couple of videos about why she
Should we kill She-Hulk?
and see what they hate so much. Besides, you know. But before I do that,
What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? Besides, you know. Tell me, fucker.
Yeah.
What are
I
you trying
know.
to say?
Apparently, everyone who hates the show is an incel, according to Twitter. So
Is that what he was insinuating with that?
I don't know. It could've been.
Honestly, this show makes me want to read the comics because like those are probably like much better.
Yeah. I've heard good things about the comic. I've heard people from people who really like the She-Hulk comics, just like how much they've ruined this great character.
Kind of like Moon Knight.
Yeah.
I feel bad for the She-Hulk enjoyers out there.
I feel bad for any fan of the comics that is getting an origin film nowadays for the MCU.
I mean, I feel bad for any human being who has to sit down and watch She-Hulk.
Yeah, Gwen. A kind of obscure Marvel character I really like is Gwenpool. And like for a while I was like, oh, it'd be really cool if they made a show about Gwenpool. But now I'm like, I absolutely do not want them to do that because they'd ruin the character.
They don't leave him alone. Just I don't know. They need to just stop at this point. Like, just stop, please.
Yeah. Just stop.
This is getting out of hand.
Stop!
There's not just
They're
two.
already dead.
It's not just two of them. There's a lot more.
Yeah, the MCU is just embarrassing now.
It is. Man, I long for the days of the days of old Marvel.
Me too.
criticism. So you don't think I'm just ignoring all of the show's flaws, because it's not perfect. Like number one, I do agree that in general, what the MCU has done with Bruce Banner Hulk does not always work. It will forever
Okay.
be that Hulk's biggest single moment when it comes to developing his character happens off-screen. And I understand that it may not have been great for the flow of Infinity War.
What do you guys think about that?
What about him, like, becoming Professor Hulk off screen?
Yeah.
Honestly, that could have been its own movie.
Yeah,
I think
like,
I would agree with that statement.
the more I think about it, the less I like that aspect of Endgame is like how it just glossed over all of these super important things that happened in between, like this.
Yeah, there's major problems with Endgame. The more you think about it.
Yeah.
But okay, yeah, I mean, sure, I agree with that one. I don't like how they did that and how they made that incredible, like, character moment off screen. They just
Yeah.
kind of glossed over how he's Professor Hulk now, or Smart Hulk if they want to fucking call it that.
Smart Hulk is awful though. Like Professor Hulk was a perfect name for that version of the character. Smart Hulk is just dumb.
That's what Disney wants to call him.
Smart Hulk. So, like,
That doesn't mean it can't be done at all. Cutting down on the moment with Black Widow could have worked. So I understand people who say of She-Hulk, it's dumb that we're getting this whole Hulk lesson from Bruce. We never actually get to see Bruce go through the merging of his personalities. And the Hulk as a character feels like he's been largely forgotten about by the MCU. Something like that doesn't really bother me that much, but I get it.
He's not just being forgotten, he's being actively shit on by this show.
yeah.
That's not the problem. I would prefer him to just not be in it, to just be forgotten, than to be fucking shit on.
For real.
This fucking cunt on the left.
Sure, a lot of it has to do with how they don't completely have the rights to the Hulk, so, you know, he hasn't gotten a solo movie. I'm sure if they did, they would have gotten a Hulk solo movie sometime in Phase 2, and maybe we'd get to explore the character more then. Second criticism, the CGI is not always great. I will say, there are some times when I think it looks pretty terrific. Pretty much.
I mean, like, yes, the CGI looks bad, but on, like, number 2 of flaws, like, I don't know, man, like, some, like, good character writing could make up for bad CGI.
Yeah.
Like, I'd rather the writing be good, I'd rather the characters be not insufferable than interesting and likable. Have good CGI.
Also, I know that like the Hulk model was one they already had, but like Hulk still looks good in this show, but She-Hulk looks consistently awful.
Well, even Hulk, there's some issues, but
Yeah, there's still
She-Hulk looks horrible.
Yeah.
Like
she
that
never
scene
improves, not
that
once.
scene where she's like arriving to the wedding in her new dress, and it's like she's supposed to be looking really good. Like she looks awful in that scene, and it's like you really couldn't have like made this scene look better.
I
The
would
dress
say-
itself looks horrible. I hope he shows it in the video, because it's like the dress. It's like there's just this section where it looks like they just like stitched on an extra piece of fabric. It doesn't look right at all.
I would say it looks like a PS2 cutscene, but that would be doing a disservice to the PS2.
Yeah, I was just playing God of War, the first one, and I was like, yeah, this actually
Yeah,
looks
me
like
too.
pretty good
Yeah,
for PS2.
Me too. I just finished it. Oh my god.
You did? Wow.
Yeah.
I just started playing all of them.
Yeah, I'm in the middle of God of War 2 right now. It's great.
Yes.
Anyway, we can talk about that later. I got a lot to say
Everything in
about
episode
that.
1 looked movie quality for me. And a lot of the shots that ended up in the trailers have solid effects. But there are plenty of other moments, like the ones at the law firm,
so
where the CGI is
Ew.
pretty rough.
Get
I'm
it
a little
away
bit
from
more
me.
Oh,
sympathetic
God, it
here
looks so
because of all
bad.
the recent articles about how Marvel is working all their VFX artists to death. It seems like an awful situation. They need to sort that out. But if you watch the show and think the CGI
Oh,
is
that looks so
distracting, like I said, I think it's more often good than bad. And then the third criticism.
I
This
don't
is a
agree
small
with that.
nitpick.
It is more often bad than good.
That's yeah, hard to disagree on that one, buddy. Let's see what his third criticism is.
This
Also-
is a small nitpicky one, but it's really bugged me ever since I saw
Small
the first episode.
nitpicky.
I just wanted to say, like, I don't think it's the VFX artist's fault.
Yeah, it's not.
Like, yeah, I blame Disney. Like, what they should be doing is like, these shows clearly need more time.
Yeah.
So what Disney is doing is like bloating all these it's the whole like quantity over quality thing. It really fucking shows. We have all these new shows, all these new movies, and the CGI has gotten progressively worse.
Yeah.
And this is like the height of it is She-Hulk. Like it just looks horrible. It's because they're being overworked. There's too many projects. It's like calm the fuck down, Disney. Just-
They're pumping out these projects like the fucking Targaryens pump out children, dude.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring that up because we're probably gonna be making fun of the special effects a lot in this stream.
Yeah, it is not their fault.
No. Yeah, no, it's not the VFX artist's fault. It's absolutely Disney's fault.
Okay, hold on. I want to hear what his third criticism is.
It's to death. It seems like an awful situation. They need to sort that out. But if you watch the show and think the CGI is distracting, I get it. Although, like I said, I think it's more often good than bad. And then the third
not.
criticism. This is a small nitpicky one, but it's really bugged me ever since I saw the first episode. What's the deal with She-Hulk getting drunk? Bruce treats it like a...
Okay, again, this is your third criticism. It's not... Oh my fucking god. Okay, it's not nitpicky either. So it's established that if you're a Hulk, you can't... Like, you don't really get drunk, and you don't get hangovers. However, she goes back to being Jin, and she has a hangover. So it's like, what the fuck, like... So you got a hangover anyway. So it didn't matter. So it's like... It's a flaw in the writing.
Yeah.
And it's like, again, on the grand scheme of things, like, how is this your number 3 criticism? This is like my 75th criticism of the show.
I can think of like
It's this
100
inconsistency.
more, 100 more
Yeah.
things wrong with this
Ryan,
show.
honestly, I believe you have a comprehensive list of 75 flaws.
And he's only seen 2 episodes.
Yeah, that's true. I have like a notepad.
Oh my god, it's just like when we watched Obi-Wan Kenobi.
I'm so glad I handwrote those notes. I just have them.
Those were so
funny. Okay.
Just remember I think it was the last episode, you wrote down like nonsense, so you were like trying to filter
Yeah,
through
just
it.
pure fucking just nonsense. Because I was like anger writing it because I was super mad. Some of it was just unintelligible. Oof, alright.
Positive is in fact the first positive aspect of being a Hulk presented in the episode. However, Bruce says we can drink as much as we want and never get drunk. All buzz, no buzz. Which, that's not a good thing, right? Sometimes the fun of drinking is getting drunk. Like in Cap 1, Steve laments that his system metabolizes alcohol so fast that he cannot get drunk, so that's a drawback. But then if that's not enough, the next morning Jen wakes up with a Hulk-sized hangover. So you do get drunk enough to have a massive hangover? That's pretty bad. It's like the worst of both worlds.
So it's like, yes, this is a criticism that I agree with. However, it's just funny to me that he's like acknowledging this like kind of smaller criticism, but he just ignores like all of the fucking issues, or I'm assuming he's going to ignore all of the massive issues with like Jin as a character, all like the major plot like points. It's just weird to me. I was like, look, like I'm not like, you know, biased. I'm criticizing the show. It's like they pick like a small thing.
Yeah.
Then, in a recent episode, Nikki lists as a positive that Jen cannot get a hangover. So which one is it? Not a show breaker for sure, but it does not make for...
Yeah, they're fucking bad right. They can't keep the smallest of consistency in their fucking show.
very much sense, and I wish they'd never brought it up at all. I feel like the right way this logic works out is that the benefit is that Jen, as a human, can get hammered, but as long as she hulks out for a moment or two before going to bed, her body can metabolize the alcohol quickly, and she does not have a hangover the next morning. Like, I'm definitely overthinking it, but while I was watching the show...
You're not... Don't apologize for overthinking it. This is fine. This is fine. This is probably going to be the best part of your video, is talking about the hangover inconsistency in the show.
So I'd like to point out that I think you spend more time talking about this than the other two criticisms.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one's obviously more important, right? This is the most important criticism.
This is wild. It's like, this is what you pick for criticism number 3.
Oh, I thought I was losing my mind. Anyway, those are my 3 negatives.
Those are his only negatives of the show. Those are his only fucking negatives. The bad CGI, weird hangover inconsistency, and I don't even remember the first one. What was the first one? Oh yeah, Hulk being forgotten and mistreated by the MCU. Which, like, sure, like, agree with all 3 of those, but man, that's a short list of problems with this show.
That's really just the tip of the iceberg here.
Yeah, especially because Hulk doesn't even appear that much in this show.
Yeah, he's only in like episode 1, I think.
Yeah, Well, he
Oh right, he
has
appears like
some very
once.
short.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has some
After
very
that.
short appearances or mentions after episode 1, but yeah, he doesn't really show up that much.
That's a. I don't consider that a negative. I consider that a positive.
Let's talk about the reasons that I think She-Hulk is the best Marvel show. We've got 3 of them too.
All right, let's
4 if
hear
you
'em.
count. Number A, She-Hulk is fun. Now your mileage on this one.
Yeah, I don't know about that, man.
I mean, I guess we can't argue that very much because blah blah comedy is subjective.
We can look at like the structure, the jokes, and kind of like why we think it could be like funny and like with how it's written and acted and all that. But I mean, I don't know, man. I don't find it funny. But I guess he does.
Yeah, I find her fourth wall breaks unbearable, but that's just me.
Yeah. But alright, let's hear
Everyone
man.
finds different things funny, and I am very picky when it comes to comedy. But some parts of She-Hulk just really worked for me. Mainly it was the juxtaposition.
Name one.
Putting a character or archetype into a situation that only exists in the MCU. Drunk bachelorette partygoer sees a portal to another dimension and goes, ew. Judge hears the Asgard is not a place, it's a people speech, and strikes it down. Asgardian construction workers. I think it's just fun. Also,
Like the fucking Judge one especially, like I've seen those scenes, man, that like
What the fudge are you doing on here?
oh no. we didn't account for this.
Jacob, we're kind of in the middle of something.
What are you doing?
That's fine, give him the link.
Give him the
We're
link.
watching a Hey Jacob, you wanna watch a She-Hulk video with us?
I am. Nope. In no way, Jose. I've got plenty of homework to do.
you best skedaddle out of here then. We're streaming it.
The boys.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess I'll watch.
so there's a lot of
Oh, oops, sorry. What?
No, even better, you can watch our stream on it after the fact.
I don't think I want to watch it right now. I've got too much to do tonight.
And say that. Okay.
Yeah, I'll catch you guys later.
Alright.
Alright, bye,
Have a good,
Jacob. Have a good night.
Bye bye. I just wanted to see how you guys are doing.
I
What
know,
you
it's
guys are
okay.
doing.
It's okay. We're having fun. We're having fun doing this.
See you.
You. Bye-bye. Okay, there was a Jacob's cameo. You got it.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, give me money, please, because Jacob shut up.
Okay, so back on this. So I don't know. I don't find any of those funny. I don't care if you're in a world full of like superheroes and shit. It's like you're at a fucking bachelorette party and a fucking portal to another like world or some other place just opens up behind you. Your reaction is not going to be ew. Like fuck off. These are still like human beings with like reactions. I don't know, like the reactions like characters give in the MCU nowadays are just like I don't believe that. I don't believe a person would react like this.
Yeah.
And the one with the judge, it's like he just like I don't know, like can't you just take the courtroom scenes a little more seriously? Like make them interesting. Like, there's moments like you can have moments of levity. There's moments of levity in Better Call Saul court scenes, and it works.
Yeah.
That's not the issue. It's just like they clearly can't write court scenes, but that's another issue.
Yeah, they
And
literally.
the Asgardian construction workers, like, I don't know, why is it funny? Is it funny because they have like futuristic Asgard weapons? Is that why it's funny?
Also, I don't know what he's talking about. I don't think these guys are Asgardian, and if they are, I don't recall that ever being stated.
Yeah,
not
that
what he
wasn't
said.
established.
Oh.
This is in the MC. Drunk bachelorette partygoer sees a portal to another dimension and goes, ew. Judge hears the Asgard is not a place, it's a people speech, and strikes it down. Asgardian construction workers.
Yep, Asgardian construction workers.
Nice.
Is that true?
No,
I don't
so.
think it is. Maybe I
Never.
missed a line of dialogue about it, but
I mean, even
don't
if it is,
think-
like, why is this funny? What's the
Like-
joke?
This wasn't even part of. This wasn't even a joke. This was like they're trying
Yeah.
to mug her.
Like, usually, how I would, like, feel like I could argue, like, good jokes from, like, good comedy movies, like Hot Fuzz, like, certain jokes, I could explain, like, why they're funny. I'd like, could he do that with any of these?
Yeah,
Like-
this isn't funny. It's embarrassing because these guys are supposed to be the wrecking crew.
Yeah, this wasn't
I'm
played
sure
off
that-
as a joke. This was like like right after this is like an action scene that's supposed to be serious.
It
Yeah,
feels
and,
like he's just pointing out, like, oh, like, fucking construction workers have wacky futuristic weapons from Asgard. Funny.
Yeah, it's funny, guys. Look,
Yeah, the
silly
wrecking crew
weapons.
aren't like A-listers or anything, but they're tough. Like the four of them in a good adaptation would be tough enough to like give a Hulk a run for their money.
Alright. Talk about all that, sure. Let's see what else he has to say.
I think it's just fun. Also, there's a lot of very
He just
smart
thinks it's
editing.
funny,
I
okay.
must depart, and then Wong leaves. Wonderful. Quick.
Like, it's not funny, though. It's fucking stupid. You can't just open a portal in a prison, in like a high-security superhero prison, and fucking leave. You can't, like, there's no accounting for anything in this world. Wong
Yeah,
can just
and
do whatever the
Wong-
fuck he wants.
Yeah, Wong should absolutely be a fugitive now.
Yeah.
And can I talk about like Abomination? Because
Sure.
like there hasn't been a lot of payoff to things set up in Phase 4 of the MCU, but She-Hulk gives us an example of this. Like we see Wong fighting Abomination in Shang-Chi, and that creates some intrigue. Like, that's a weird combination. What's going on there? And apparently, it's just like, oh, he was training to be Sorcerer Supreme, even
And
though
then-
he's
but-
been. Yeah,
Like,
even
it
though
made,
he's.
it made Wong, like, kind of evil. He fucking, like, coerced and, like, blackmailed him into doing it.
Yeah. It's like he
And
could have picked anyone on Earth. There's so many
Who
people,
would-
other
who
people
would, like,
better.
willingly do it.
You have an actual Hulk that you could go ask to help you.
Plus, he's already been Sorcerer Supreme for 5 years.
Yeah.
It's not a good look. And again, it's like, remember when he's like a fugitive and then he just shows up to court and it's just fine? It's like, he's a fucking fugitive. Someone arrest him.
Yeah.
And then all this shit. Like, you can't do this in a prison. This is insane.
Wong has become like one of the dumbest MCU characters just from this show alone.
No, I like they
Yeah,
ruined
and, like,
him, man.
the-
I liked him in Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
The next episode, they just like try to get you to forget about it. Like, oh, isn't it funny that he's watching The Sopranos and it gets spoiled? Laugh, please.
Oh yeah, literally. It's not even a joke. It's just the bit is that he watches The Sopranos and that's it.
What a joke, man.
And that drunk girl spoils it for him. That's the that's the punchline.
That's a punchline they do like 3 times.
Yeah.
Silly, and we move on. And if anyone wonders, why is Wong able to go to court next week? I don't know. The president pardoned him because he's a Sorcerer Supreme.
That's not how that works.
First of all,
the president
that
probably
is not
doesn't
how
even
that
know.
works.
The president
Yeah,
probably
you
doesn't
can't
even
just
know what
make
that
up a-
is.
You can't
So
just make up
secondly-
an explanation. You can't
You
just
pulled
make
that
an
out of
explanation.
your fucking asshole. Where in the show does it fucking say that the President of the United States personally pardoned Wong because he's the Sorcerer Supreme?
I
Are
don't
you
think
fucking insane?
I don't think the Sorcerer Supreme has even been explained to like anyone outside of the Avengers. He's not really a public figure.
Oh, I have to hear that again. Hold on. That was
They had to
insane.
had to catfish him and find him through his LinkedIn account in order to get in contact with him.
Yeah, that's
Hold on,
right.
let's listen to that again.
Wong leaves, wonderful. Quick, silly, and we move on. And if anyone wonders, why is Wong able to go to court next week? I don't know if the president pardoned him because he's the Sorcerer Supreme, and he basically has diplomatic immunity. Also, he's Wong.
What?
Also, he's Wong. That
What the fuck? He literally just pulled that out of it because he said like, oh, I don't know. He just like made up an explanation.
yeah.
That's not how that works. You need references. It needs to be in the show.
Wong. We all love Wong. Also, maybe he made him all forget what this. But okay.
That wasn't
not
it.
an
That's not what they,
excuse.
that's not what they showed. She just left.
I love this thinking. Just like it's fine. I liked it. It doesn't need to make sense. Shut up. Come on, dude. Don't give up.
Yeah,
Why are
you
you
can't-
letting them get away with this?
You can't just make up a headcanon and be like, yeah, so it's okay then.
Literally just made up a headcanon and like gave it to us as an explanation. You can't do that. It's not how it works.
President of the United States pardon thing.
I can't believe he said that. President of the United States, dude. Fucking, can you imagine Joe Biden fucking
Dude, Joe Biden
pardoning Wong?
Joe Biden couldn't even remember what he fucking did 5 minutes ago.
Dude, you wouldn't even know what's happening. Someone just sound like, can you
honestly,
pardon this guy? And he's
I
like,
guess
"Oh,
that is
sure."
I guess that is pretty realistic. He'd be like, "What? Sure, I guess."
Honestly, if they did have a scene of Joe Biden pardoning Wong, that would actually be hilarious.
That actually would be
Yeah,
funny.
that would be-
Or it doesn't have to be Joe Biden. It can just be the president of the MCU world.
Yeah.
But that would actually be a funny joke if they did that. And we still have the problems of why I don't think Wong would coerce, like blackmail Abomination in the first place, but if they at least had done that, I'd be like, okay, yeah, that's funny.
And like, why take him to a random Chinese underground fight club? Like,
Yeah, there's no reason for that.
like,
I'm sure he
you-
could just
you
bring
can
him,
really-
bring them to like some kind of space that you.
Like you
It's
can
fine.
really tell they just did the Wong versus Abomination fight in Shang-Chi because it's like a weird pair up and it'll get the audience curious. And then the She-Hulk writers were like, "Man, I don't know. We never had a plan to explain this." And they just came up with an explanation in like 30 seconds.
I'm surprised they even explained it. I'm surprised they didn't just like, it didn't happen. Like, it's fine. Like, we're doing our own thing, okay? It's kind of their attitude. Most of the
Wait,
time.
like, doesn't it sound an explanation you just come up with in 30 seconds? Like,
it sure does.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so they were fighting because Wong he's training to be Sorcerer Supreme, so he needed a strong opponent. Yeah, that'll work.
Even
And
though
no
he was
one will
also
question
Sorcerer
it.
Supreme. Or wasn't he already Sorcerer Supreme when this happened?
Yes, that was established in
Yes.
Spider-Man.
Okay, so it's like, yeah, even worse.
And it's like, you could get any Avenger to help you, but really, it'd be like, like, if you're training 5 years after the fact anyway, just train with Strange. Because, like, that's how you'll hone your magic skills.
Come on, I have to listen to that one more time. That was so insane. My guy literally, like, headcanned it, and then just, like, that's all it
Quick,
took.
silly, and we move on. And if anyone wonders, why is Wong able to go to court next week? I don't know if the president pardoned him because he's the Sorcerer Supreme, and he basically has diplomatic immunity. Also, he's Wong. We all love Wong. Also, maybe he made him all forget what this. But okay, I'm not.
We love.
It's so
We
I
love
can't
Wong.
believe it.
Yeah.
I can't believe you just said that.
Past
Oh my
tense.
You have given up, my friend. If you say shit like that, if that's your defense, you fucking given up. You just headcaned it.
They're really going for the full assassination here. They went,
Yeah.
they went full doubles, dude. Fucking Hulk and Wong, they fucking just assassinated him.
It
In the span
doesn't
of
matter
one
that
show.
it makes sense, it just matters that we love Wong.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's like
Okay.
it doesn't matter who the character is. If they do dumb stuff that's out of character, that's gonna make me like them less. Like if they do something with Daredevil, that will make me
Exactly.
like Daredevil less. Like it doesn't
Not
matter
counting that
who does it. Sorry, no, you can keep going.
this
That's
is like
fine,
a
that's fine.
universal positive because I don't think highlighting it makes much of a point. Either you think it's funny or you do not. But point one, She-Hulk is the
I
first
didn't,
Marvel
okay.
show that seems to know how to be a show. There
No.
No, it does not.
Are you insane?
It does not know how to be a show. I'm not even
It's
really
literally
sure.
the
What does that
opposite.
even,
I'm not even
what
sure
does that
who the.
even mean? It knows how to be a show.
I don't even know who the villain of the show is. There's no, like, they're building stuff up, but they haven't made a threat, like, apparent.
Okay, this is hilarious. So he just said this is the only the recent, like, Disney Marvel MCU show that knows how to be a show. Meanwhile, he's playing this fucking scene where a person just comes in to a fucking courtroom while She-Hulk is, like, prosecuting someone and starts to fight her for literally no reason. We don't, at this point, at the point of when this happened, we have no idea who the fuck she is, why she's here, and why she's doing this. She just shows up to fight She-Hulk.
And there's no repercussions from this fight.
Exactly.
Like, she just gets off scot-free. And
How
it's,
is this knowing how to be a show?
like, okay.
So
The way
I
the
wanna
law
talk
works...
about-
the way the law... Sorry, Nate, real quick. The way the law works in this does not, like, coincide with how it works in Daredevil. Like, that's my
It
biggest
doesn't
problem.
coexist with how it is in reality.
Yeah, well,
Like, it's just-
I just have to compare the shows real quick because they're in the same universe, right? Like, they have to have the
Right.
same rules, and they don't follow the rules that Daredevil said. Oh,
It's because they hired writers who don't know how to write courtroom scenes.
Exactly. I can't
Yeah.
believe that they admitted that. That was so funny.
my God.
Okay, I have to hear like what he says. That
Well, like,
what,
I want to
what
talk
a
about the
strange
last.
slam.
I want to talk about the last couple episodes, because like, the last two episodes have been like filler episodes where nothing happens, and then in the last 10 seconds they do a reveal that progresses the plot, and it's like that's not storytelling. That doesn't
That's
mean your
not-
episode like that doesn't make your episode not filler, because if you want important story beats, you just skip the whole episode and watch the last 30 seconds.
Yeah, okay, well, I need to like listen to this full thing. I need to know what the hell he even means by that.
Either you think it's funny or you do not. But point one, She-Hulk is the first Marvel show that seems to know how to be a show.
Wait, hold on. He said the first Marvel show. So is he including the Netflix one?
Okay, I
Yeah.
think he clarified at the beginning he's talking about Disney Plus, so I think that
I
carries
mean,
over.
either way, it's insane. That's an insane claim.
There's
Yeah,
something to
let's-
be said for effectively utilizing the medium in which you exist. They co-
In what way is She-Hulk utilizing being a show? Explain.
common complaint among the Marvel shows is that they feel like a 3-hour movie cut up into 6 pieces.
That would not be my criticism of the Marvel shows.
What
Well,
about WandaVision? That one felt like a show.
Yeah. Dude, I will give this to WandaVision, even though it got horrible. But yeah, like those first few episodes, it was absolutely making use of being a show.
Yeah.
using the medium. Like, how can you argue that this is the first one? WandaVision literally made use of it being a show by having the first few episodes being based off of shows, off of like the genre of shows at certain time points.
It's literally the first Disney Plus Marvel show.
It's the first one too.
It's literally the first one. Oh, what about What If?
It was
That was
absolutely making use of being a show. Like, pretty well in those first few episodes too. Like, that was a unique, like, cool idea before they ruined it all.
yeah. What If too? Like, yeah, sure, they all suck, but like, What If made use of being a show too, with like different universes and stuff. This is not
What a
the
bizarre argument.
And thrown on Disney Plus. And I think for quite a few of them, this is a fair criticism. Frequently, the episodes don't feel like their own concise story. While the episodes can be separated by certain storytelling functions or a change in location or something like that, it still feels like Falcon and the Winter Soldier or Hawkeye or Miss Marvel could be better served by cutting out a bunch of the fluff and editing the entire thing into a 2-hour-long movie. Really?
I mean, dude, you want to talk about fluff, man? For She-Hulk? Like...
literally the entire
They
show.
literally, in the wedding episode, they literally admit that it's filler, but then they're like, I know it's like out of the blue and
they
unexpected.
lampshaded it.
Yeah, they're like, I know it's out of the blue and unexpected, but so are weddings. And I'm like, that's not an excuse. You
It
could
was
just
literally just
not
fluff.
have. You are a writer, and you could literally do anything that's not this episode. You could actually progress the plot.
Also, weddings are not really that out of the blue.
Also, it's crazy. It's crazy that there are 7 out of 9 episodes out, and like barely anything has happened plot-wise.
Dude, like, we're on number 7 of House of the Dragon, Kaden, right?
Yeah.
And, like, think of all the shit that's happened on that.
Oh yeah.
Think of all the shit, all the plot element, all the setup that's happening. Like, I don't know, fucking, I know, like, fuck all about Jin's character, other than that she's an insufferable cunt. Like, they're not even really, like, setting up, like, what, like, biggest plot points, what big, like, setups are they, or what big,
They don't
payoffs are they
have.
setting up?
They don't have any. There's like these evil.
Exactly.
There's like these
They're
evil
setting up-
scientist Reddit mods, I guess, but they haven't done anything other than insult
it's a
She-Hulk.
vague. It's a vague threat that hasn't been explained that wants She-Hulk's blood for unexplained reasons. It's like there's 2 episodes left, and one of them is probably going to be focused on Daredevil. Like, you wasted so much time on nothing.
I
Like, what are
can't
you
believe
doing?
this.
I remember there was this really funny tweet that was like, yeah, this was definitely written by the people who did Pickle Rick.
I'm pretty sure it
Wow.
was. Like I think
Is it a
most.
positive or negative?
Because they do share that episode of Rick and Morty and this show do share a writer. I don't remember who it was, but yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's. I don't know what to even tell you about that.
Yeah.
And like Pickle Rick is okay, but there's problems with that episode, like writing wise. I really don't like how the therapist just tells you what like Rick's intentions are towards the end. Like she's just omniscient. I really don't like that because she's just telling the audience like what Rick's character is.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I think the creators of Rick and Morty had more to do with the comedy in that episode than the
Yeah.
actual person who wrote it.
Yeah, I feel that.
That would be my guess.
Did this right were What If, which I'm not a huge fan of, WandaVision, which I love.
I can't do like. So you love it, but it doesn't make use of being a show.
Well, no, he just contradicted himself. He's like this is the first one that actually feels like a show, except for 2 other ones. It's like, well, then it
That's
doesn't.
fucking crazy.
Dude,
It's like then
these
it's
are
not
literally.
the first one.
literally
It's not the first one that feels like a show, then, is it?
Hold on, I need to
The
hear
Winter
it first.
Soldier
Hold
or
on.
Hawkeye or Miss Marvel could be better served by cutting out a bunch of the fluff and editing the entire thing into a 2-hour-long movie. Really, the only ones that did this right were What If, which I'm not a big fan of.
Okay, so you're saying the only
WandaVision,
ones who didn't have fluff, you didn't have a bunch of unnecessary shit, is What If and WandaVision. That's the argument. Which, like, I mean, I can't tell you about What If. I don't remember
What
there
If?
being lots of fluff in WandaVision. I just remember it being horrible and making WandaVision like an evil monster. There's fluff in WandaVision?
I don't remember there being fluff in WandaVision. What If is just an anthology show, so like each episode is a different story, so it doesn't really have fluff now.
It's just so wild to me that he brought up WandaVision. Like, if anything, WandaVision absolutely made use of being a show.
Yeah, 100%.
And, like, again, like, pretty well in those first few episodes. I liked what they were doing. It was interesting.
Yeah. For sure.
That's...
I love, and Loki, which is also very good. So two of the...
Fuck. Don't bring up Loki. Fucking... This character on
Ryan,
screen
don't get into
ruins
Loki.
everything.
Ryan-
It ruins everything. And you
Ryan,
know,
don't get into Loki.
it's
Don't get
insane.
into Loki.
Fucking ruined everything. I'm sorry. Okay.
best shows in the MCU have done this right, and I think She-Hulk might be the best at it. Specifically because...
That's a good pause. So, you know, yes, okay, you're right. He did contradict himself. So, yeah, other shows did it right. I'm not even sure what the fuck is argument. So other shows made use of being shows and didn't have fluff, but She-Hulk did it best. Also, She-Hulk is the only one.
Yeah.
Is that the argument?
Doesn't make a whole lot of sense, my dude.
That's... Wow, okay.
Unlike Loki or WandaVision, She-Hulk is very explicitly a sitcom. And part of the charm of a sitcom is that while there are big season-long arcs, like Diane warming up to Sam or Mac getting fat, the episodes themselves are largely disconnected and can be watched out of order without breaking the entire thing. And once everything was in motion, starting with episodes 3 and 4, I think we've really managed to hit that balance. It can be pretty effectively highlighted by focusing on the legal aspect of the series.
Oh, please don't bring up the legal aspect.
Focusing on the legal aspect is a bad idea when you can't write courtroom scenes.
Yeah, this show is a lawyer show that doesn't focus on the legal aspect.
I don't even agree
Yeah,
with
and,
that,
like-
that because it's a sitcom, it's okay to have like all these like fucking set piece like episodes with like fluff, like the wedding episode and all that. Like, no, I mean sitcoms can still have fluff where like nothing. We're just like pointless episodes.
Also, I want to bring up a courtroom thing that really bugged me. When, like, Titania used the She-Hulk name and, like, copyrighted it, and then sued She-Hulk, when the courtroom scene starts for that lawsuit plot, like, Titania's lawyer moves to immediately dismiss the case. And I'm just like, why? You're suing her. Why are you... Like, you want to sue her. Why are you then just trying to dismiss the... It's like, if you dismiss the case, you're not gonna get any winnings from a lawsuit.
Yeah, that's
It makes no sense.
that's completely contradictory to the reason. God, just
It's because this show is written by idiots.
they couldn't. Why didn't they just look? I know more about law because I've seen these guys, and the only things I know about law was what they had in Daredevil and Better Call Saul. Like, why couldn't they just? Why couldn't they just?
Fucking Phoenix Wright
Yeah.
taught me
Oh,
enough
yeah,
about
Phoenix
law
Wright.
to know this is all bullshit. And that game has a fucking like parrot take the stand, and it's way more
Yeah.
realistic.
Yeah.
What the law is.
You use the parrot to fucking win the case, dude.
Dude, there's tons of lawyers out there, man. There's tons of lawyers out there. Like, find one, ones that aren't busy. Fucking find one and pay them to be a legal consultant to make all this shit, make all the law stuff make sense.
Yeah.
You got Disney money, fuckers.
Also, there's just annoying scenes that would never be allowed in court, like the magic performers doing all kinds of tricks in the middle of the courtroom, or Titania spraying her perfume around.
America's legal system has still not yet accounted for the internet. Imagine it accounting for magic. Like, holy shit. Can imagine. Yeah, it's stupid. What I don't like about it is that they just gloss over it. It's like, yeah, they can use magic in a courtroom. It's fine. It's like, it's not fine, though.
Yeah, they can spray perfume. Like, she literally, like, picks up a bunch of her products, puts them into evidence, and then, like, advertises them, like, in the courtroom.
You can't do that. Alright, let's hear what this guy says.
Sometimes 2 in 1 episode. Every case presents a new challenge, introduces a few new characters, and after 22 minutes, everything is wrapped up nice and neat. I think...
So I see what he's saying. He's saying that because it's a sitcom, it makes more sense to have these more confined episodes where things are, like, conflicts are set up and then resolved by the end of the episode, and then aren't really up again in future episodes. I get that. That's how a lot of sitcoms work. However, like, you could argue that all you need to do is argue that She-Hulk is doing it poorly.
Yeah.
I think it is. Like, there needs to be some kind of arc here. There needs to be some kind of through line, and there isn't. And I don't know, like, maybe I would be fine with that structure if it was actually written well. I'd be fine with, like, a sitcom where there's not really, like, an overarching story in, like, the MCU, if it was good.
Like, I think what they're trying to do is, like, in the comics, She-Hulk is, like, a very confident, outgoing person, and, like, she likes being, She-Hulk. Like, in this show, she hates being She-Hulk, and she complains about it constantly. And it seems like
she constantly uses it for personal gain.
It seems like what they might be going for is, like, having her learn to love being She-Hulk by the end of the season.
That is what they're going for, and I don't.
But, like, I'd go about that in different ways.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I'd do, like, maybe her arc, which I think would fit well for a sitcom, like a more laid back thing. Like, have her arc be like she's very serious and reserved and stuff, but then throughout the series she learns to loosen up a bit and have fun being She-Hulk.
Yeah, that's kind of from what I understand from the comics. Jen, before being She-Hulk, it's like she's good at her job, but she's not very confident. She's kind of meek. So being She-Hulk, and she chooses to stay as She-Hulk while she's being a lawyer, that kind of gives her the confidence to, like, to do everything. That's kind of the arc. That's kind of the whole point. And yeah, I mean, that would have been a lot more interesting to do here, but nope. Jen is already the best, just the most smartest fucking person ever, even before She-Hulk. So,
like, you know how she goes out drinking with, like, lawyer friends? I'd, like, have her not do that at the beginning of the series. Just be like, no, I have cases to work on back at home or something.
Ever be more reserved and
yeah, exactly.
I think I could show someone episode 1 and then skip to episode 4 and they'd mostly get it. And I know
that's not a good thing. I don't think that's a positive.
Yeah, it's really not a good thing to be like, oh, you can just skip a bunch of episodes and not miss anything.
You could not do that with House of the Dragons. The person would have no fucking idea what's happening. Like, he just said that, like, the episode, like, why even watch the show, man? If you can skip that many episodes and just know what's happening.
So, I know like you're comparing it to like House of the Dragon, which is like a completely different show. But even if we compare it to like a sitcom, those shows still have arcs where you need to like pay attention to what's going on.
Like, let's bring up the classic, The Office. The Office is a sitcom. It has a lot of contained episodes where any conflict is resolved by the end of that episode. But there's still through lines. There's still character arcs. There's still like major plot events happening throughout the seasons.
Like if you watched like if you watched like the Jim and Pam like wedding episode, if you watched the wedding episode, you'd be like, because it's like supposed to be like this big emotional thing. And if it's the first episode you're watching, it's like, okay, this is cool, I guess. Like,
but I don't even think this applies to sitcoms like he's making it out to be.
Yeah.
Some people don't like this, the disconnection at the heart of the show. But for me, it's a feature, not a bug. And whether you like everything about She-Hulk or not, I think it's hard to deny that it's living up to the promise of superhuman law sitcom. If you don't like the idea of sitcoms, then sure.
It's not. Especially since we already had Daredevil, where they did that really fucking well.
Yeah.
Like, I love the Daredevil scenes where he is Daredevil fighting shit, fighting crime, and him as Matt Murdock doing lawyering just as much, like equally.
I also really like seeing just Matt and Foggy hang out because they have a good dynamic.
Well, yeah, you want to talk about fucking like. So She-Hulk's like lawyer best friend is horrible. She is the worst best friend ever. But then you compare that to like Matt and Foggy's relationship that's like very meaningful.
Yeah.
Like, oh.
It's like these guys don't go through anything together. They just coincide, I guess.
Like, she's just the fucking hype man, yes man person.
Yeah, that's what made Foggy so great.
Amazing, awesome, yeah.
That's what made Foggy so great, is that he didn't agree with what Matt was doing. And they had conflict, and their friendship had ups and downs like a normal friendship does.
Exactly, yeah. But yeah, I don't agree with that point. I don't understand, like we said, sitcoms do have through lines and arcs and all this. So even if it were true, that's just how sitcoms are, and so it's fine for She-Hulk to do it. Yeah, it's poorly written, so it doesn't really matter.
This is not going to work for you. But as someone who grew up on Seinfeld and Simpsons, and is currently into shows like Always Sunny and Rick and Morty, I appreciate how She-Hulk is the first.
Like, Rick and Morty has through lines. It has, like, character arcs. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
I'm just all contained. Like, the show goes out of its way to not be contained. Like, when Rick and Morty killed another version of them, or didn't kill, but, like, replaced them in another universe, they accounted for that. It wasn't just contained. That actually happened and had effects.
Yeah, that wasn't like...
Is
that
not
wasn't
the
like
show
a
you
one-off.
use as a reference.
Yeah.
It's
Like,
first MCU show.
Yeah. Even in season 4, when it was like, or was it, Nathan, what was the season before the newest one? Was it 5? The one that came out like last year?
I think it was 4. Aren't they still on 5?
Well, there's
I
a
think
new...
it might be season 6. I don't know.
Anyway, the season that came out last year, like, it was mostly like self-contained episodes, but like the last couple episodes were like part of like the overall arc of the show. Like, it's still...
So again, like, not what you point to make this point. You fucked it up.
New show that has embraced the sitcom format. Point 2.
It's not the
She-Hulk
format.
expands on the MCU in interesting ways.
How? Fucking tell me how it does
Sorry,
that.
what did he say? I didn't hear what he said.
He said it expands on, like, MCU.
Embraced the sitcom format. Point 2. She-Hulk expands on the MCU in interesting ways.
Oh.
We have introduced so many characters and concepts in She-Hulk with barely any legwork, because this is the first show that is explicitly about a character dealing with the superhuman side of the universe that we don't really see.
Like... what's the point of introducing all these like new characters with wacky abilities if they're all horrible? Like, so the character he just showed, the guy who's immortal and kills himself to get out of like marriages, like, what the fuck, dude? What a horrible concept that the show just doesn't acknowledge.
Yeah.
Because, like, first of all, you can't, you can't, like, there are, like, death records, there's, like, these things called funerals, there's all, like, he just fakes his death and, like, fake dies, but then immediately just gets up, and that's, like, enough to get out of the marriage. It's like, that's not how that works.
Yeah, that's not... Oh.
But he's like, oh, it's expanding the universe, it's cool. It's like, why though? Tell me why it is.
Oh, but this
Just
show's
say it.
this show's only good because Daredevil showed up in it.
All Egyptian gods. Miss Marvel was all clandestines. They did not have, for instance, a sorcerer just show up. It wouldn't make...
That's not a good thing. I don't like how sorcerers just fucking show up. Like, so what he's arguing is that because it's not like focused on like one element of the world, it tries to just mash and throw in all these other things. It's good.
Also,
I
I'd
think it's a
argue
detriment.
the MCU is expanding too much.
Exactly. I think it's a
Yeah.
detriment trying to expand so much the way
Right.
they're doing it.
That's why like it worked so
Like,
well
if-
before was because they didn't just like go from Iron Man to Guardians of the Galaxy. Like Guardians of the Galaxy didn't
Exactly.
happen until like way after that.
I miss when Marvel was more contained. It was more
Yeah.
focused on certain aspects, and that's what made the first Avengers movies so good. Was like all these like other movies and characters that were brought together in a good like I like how they did it.
Honestly,
It's like there's so many stupid secret things now. Like there's the secret village in another dimension in Shang-Chi. There's this other dimension with these guys in Miss Marvel.
there's the Eternals.
There's the Eternals. There's the Egyptian gods in Moon Knight.
It's like they just
There's-
happened to
all these
not.
million like world-ending
Another-
events.
And it
There's
makes
a
it
city,
it makes it
there's a
worse in my
city full
opinion.
of every. There's a city
Like-
full of every god in Thor: Love and Thunder.
Like okay, like the end of Thor: Love and Thunder and the Eternals makes like a bunch of the MCU like kind of worse, honestly, because like the Eternals just don't help with anything, including like the Battle of New York City and Infinity War, just because the guy told them not to do it. That's literally their reason. They're like, oh, he said not to interfere, so we can't do it.
Yeah, he said not to interfere, but like their mission is to keep the Earth from being destroyed, so that it can hatch into a Celestial. But like, what if Ultron was able to fully deliver on his Earth-destroying meteor city in Age of Ultron?
Okay, so what I don't like about this is that he's pointing this out as a positive, like as if the fact that Wong just shows up is a positive. Yeah, look at all this shit. Remember him? Like, that's not how it works. It's like it's how you use them, how you use all these elements from the MCU. It's not just because they're
Right.
there. Just having them there, just expanding like no matter the cost to the characters and the fucking lore is enough, is a positive.
Right, like Captain America returning in Infinity War, it actually meant something, and it like it was a good like not like this where it's just like, oh, it's that guy. It's like
It's that guy, you know.
there was reason for things happening. You know, even in Spider-Man, there was a reason why everyone showed up. Like as contrived
Exactly.
as
It wasn't
there
just,
was
hey, look at
still-
all these
Yeah,
look at all these villains.
they didn't
Oh, look, it's Tobey Maguire.
like there was a reason,
Like, no,
even
it's all-
even a reason as to why Matt Murdock showed up.
Yeah. It's like you can bring them in and you can have those like oh that's cool moments, but it's how you use them.
Yeah, it has to be earned. You can't just do it.
Exactly.
And that's fine. thematically it is consistent with the scope of the story. But it's pretty wild that even though Earth is full of aliens and Asgardians and all sorts of gods and enhanced people, outside of the Shang-Chi cage fight, we've not had an Earthbound show where characters just bump into something weird.
I mean, doubt. It's like, I'd have to check a lot of movies and shows to prove that, but I don't believe him. Again, it's like just characters bumping into weird things, positive.
Isn't that what happened? Isn't that what happened with Doctor Strange in the first one? Isn't that how he found his powers? He bumped into something, into like that guy playing basketball. It's been a while since I've seen the movie, so
I have to rewatch it. But I mean, like, even without rewatching and like having references, I don't believe him. I don't believe that's true.
I think he specifically looked for that guy. Like he heard stories about this or whatever.
Right,
and he
it
went
doesn't
looking
matter
for
because
that.
I don't. Even if it's true, I don't agree with the point. Why is it good to have characters just bump into weird shit all the time? Is that good? Isn't it like the context, how it's done? All the weird elements are utilized?
Yeah, that's a good point. Like,
why is this a positive? He doesn't explain it. He just says it and doesn't explain why this is a good thing. It's just the fact that it has it positive.
Or acknowledge the weirdness in the rest of the world. Like She-Hulk is the first MCU show to properly acknowledge the Celestial in the middle of the ocean. Like, that's incredible. Because one problem with Phase 4...
that's not incredible.
Apart from Wong, it's felt sort of disconnected.
That's not incredible. That's fucking retarded. It's
it's not
5 projects.
Not incredible. It's not incredible that this show mentions it. It's bad that they haven't mentioned it before.
It's
like
like
the Avengers.
Exactly.
The Avengers should care a lot about that and investigating like what happened and what's going on.
That's the problem with every one of these fucking shows having like a world-ending event. Just keep it on the down low, man. Keep it smaller scale.
That's probably why I like Hawkeye.
That's why I like Homecoming.
Yeah.
Homecoming was just like, it was just Peter Parker trying to stop guys like making guns. Like these small like criminals.
Right.
That's all it was, and it was great.
Yeah.
It made sense why the Avengers didn't give a fuck. It made sense why Tony didn't give a fuck. These are small time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like these guys are like brand new heroes. Like they should have something smaller to deal with before getting thrust into world-ending shit.
We don't have those little moments where Coulson mentions a thing he has to deal with that signal to us that Thor also exists in this world. Or Bruce Banner casually mentioning Wakanda. We need that outside of the big team-up movies to keep everything...
They're in out like those moments just aren't in Avenger movies. They're in the older like standalone ones too. Like, what is he talking about?
I don't know, rewind it a little bit. I think maybe we missed something.
Have those little moments where Coulson mentions a thing he has to deal with that signal to us that Thor also exists in this world. Or Bruce Banner casually mentioning Wakanda. We need that outside of the big team-up movies to keep everything balanced. Ground the world in some shared reality.
The Thor mention, I believe, was in like Incredible Hulk or something.
Okay, so now I'm not even sure what the fuck he's trying to say. So we had all those moments outside of the big team up because we don't need them in the team up because they're there. So that's okay. So that's point A. That's what he said. And then point B was we also like we need more of that. We need more just characters bumping into weird like MCU shit.
Okay.
I don't get it. Why is She-Hulk like the first to do
I mean,
this?
like that's still happening. Like Hawkeye realizing, oh man, we're dealing with Kingpin, or
The
Spider-Man
movies always
going to
acknowledged
Doctor
each
Strange.
other.
yeah, Spider-Man going to Doctor Strange to help him with his problems.
The fucking ending scene of Iron Man was Nick Fury, hey, I'm getting the Avengers together.
Yeah.
It was the first after credits scene.
Even if it is a weird one. Phase 4 does a fair amount of world building, but it's almost always giving context.
This show has dog shit world building. It just brings shit in that would destroy the world.
Well,
just destroy the world building, and they don't account for any of it.
Well, Phase 4 has a lot of world building, but it's all bad.
Yeah.
Because like the multiversal stuff in
Okay, so what I mean is that they bring in shit, quote unquote world building, but they don't connect it with each other, and they don't explain
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
how it fits in with anything else. That's what I mean.
Yeah, Phase 4 has bad world building. That's why the multiverse stuff in Doctor Strange 2, No Way Home, and Loki, that's why they all contradict each other.
It's like, it has world building. It's just not good world building.
Yeah.
To past events. Stuff from the last few phases. Kamala tells us about the end of Endgame. Hawkeye watches the Avengers musical. We've gotten plenty of context for things in the past, but the recent past? There have been so many world-altering events that never get mentioned. Like, did anyone else experience the time Mr. Knight and Khonshu turned back the whole sky? Or that kaiju fight from the end of the series?
Like, this happens in She-Hulk. Looking with that guy, she fights a bunch of, like, demon monsters.
And remember in Moon Knight when he killed the villain off screen?
Yeah.
These shows are so amazing, guys. They're so good.
How does this criticism not apply to She-Hulk?
As far as we know, it happened in the MCU, and She-Hulk would be a perfect place for, say, Pug to mention that he's so drunk everything is spinning, but not like that time the stars all flew around, or something like that. Just to make the MCU feel connected. Because it currently doesn't. Nobody has brought up the Gargantos...
Like, that's... Like, you get the criticism, but...
But like, She-Hulk
he's not
isn't mentioning
explaining-
any of these things.
Yeah.
Exactly.
She-Hulk's
attack,
part of
any
the
of the
problem.
Statue of
Walking.
Liberty stuff, Hawkeye shooting goons in 30 Rock on Christmas, the Taskmaster chase, the attack on New Asgard, the Shang-Chi bus fight, and anything from Eternals besides Kingo existing. And these things all happen in public, so I love the idea of a character who gets to react to them, or a show that would not feel weird if it acknowledged them. And it's clear that Phase 4 was jumbled by the pandemic. Lots of movies changed spots, so plenty of the direct references wouldn't play, but one show, like She-Hulk, could wrap a lot of that up at the end. We know that it comes last, so She-Hulk gets to be sort of a greatest hits of the phase. But even beyond that...
Okay. So he wasn't even trying to say that She-Hulk did all this. Why the fuck did he bring all that up? Was that a criticism of it? Why wasn't that number 4? Number 4 problem with She-Hulk.
He's trying. The point he's supposed to be making. Yeah, the point he's supposed to be making right now is that She-Hulk expands the world, but then it's like yeah, it expands the world with all these new pointless characters, but then it also doesn't mention anything that's happened recently outside of a blink and you'll miss it mention for Eternals.
Yeah.
That's just my fun.
She-Hulk's world building has really impressed me because of how much they've trusted the audience. Like, a light elf
What?
shows up. We've never seen them or...
Fuck that elf. Fuck this whole character.
They do explain the light elf. They keep mentioning that she's Asgardian, so it's just like, okay, she's Asgardian. That's not... Like, they're not trusting the audience because they mention Asgard and that she's Asgardian a bunch of times.
Exactly. And he made a point to mention how she said the Asgard line to the judge.
Yeah.
How is that
or
trusting
heard
the
of them before.
audience?
But the writers know if they look at...
Oh, fuck, don't show that fucking scene. It's so stupid impersonating a judge.
At least she got jail time for it.
She should have gotten more jail time. And again, it's like, what a fucking nightmare to have shapeshifters in the legal system. Like, Jesus Christ. This show doesn't account for it at all, even though that's like the biggest thing ever. Like that ruins the legal system, like immediately. Having just fucking shapeshifters around. They don't care. It's funny.
Act a specific way, we'll get that this thing is a Thor thing. Or Mr. Immortal. He's a mutant. In the comics, he has the power to live for...
I don't care. He's shit in the fucking show. It doesn't matter.
forever, and it's really weird. He was the leader of the Great Lake Avengers for a little bit, and while this version of the character was certainly a take on the hero, it fits into the universe well. I love that we are able to run...
Does it?
He's just kind of there.
He's just there. He's just this shit character. It doesn't make any sense how he does this.
Characters like this without explanation. It just makes the world feel so much bigger. And if you are upset that Mr. Immortal is now an older philanderer and not the character from the Great Lakes Avengers, he does apparently have a son, so that character can be Mr. Immortal or something.
I don't care. That wouldn't be my criticism at all. It's stupid. It's like, okay. I don't like this, like, it's there, and it expands the world, therefore good. It's like, how does it expand the world? Why is it good that the MCU is so big and expanding? Like, it needs to be smaller, if anything. Like, I don't think this is good. This has hurt the MCU.
Third thing I like. Jen is an interesting, likable character.
Fuck off. Holy shit. Oh boy, we're in the gutter. We're in the gutter now.
She is very much not likable.
She's the opposite. Likeable.
She's literally the worst protagonist in the MCU, I think.
She is the most insufferable fucking cunt ever.
Thanks for unpausing reaction, guys. I have heard lots of discourse that Jen is not an interesting character because she has no flaws. Unlikable character. Thanks for unpausing reaction, guys. I have heard...
So good. Okay, I'm sorry if I just blew up the mic. Did you hear what he fucking just did?
Yeah.
He acknowledged us, dude. He acknowledged us. Oh. That's funny. Oh man, I hope EFAP covers this.
That was really funny.
It's so good. I have to listen. Good.
or something. Third thing I like. Jen is an interesting, likable character. Thanks for unpausing reaction, guys. I have heard lots...
You thought that was so fucking smart. You just said the most insane thing ever. Of course we paused. Oh. Listen, I only care about your arguments. It's like, alright, like, I hard disagree. Let's hear the arguments,
Lots
man.
of discourse that Jen is not an interesting character because she has no flaws. She never does anything wrong, and she dismisses Bruce, her kind older cousin. Which...
Please defend that. Please defend that.
She does...
Wild...
She does plenty wrong. Like, she comes... In the first episode, she comes off so unlikable because Bruce is trying to help her, and she treats him like garbage. And, like she...
Yeah, my criticism
she acknowledges that, like,
doing
he's
anything
had a...
wrong. It's that the show doesn't acknowledge her wrongdoings.
Yeah, she acknowledges that Bruce has, like, been through a decade of trauma, but then still, she says, like, I have it worse than you because I've gotten catcalled.
It's like, fuck, dude. I want him to defend this scene. I really do. Nobody, you can do it.
Misreading of the entire series. Jen's biggest flaw is that she's just sort of arrogant. Like this.
I would. Bit arrogant, you say.
Just a bit.
She's a bit more than that. Yeah, don't show Tony Stark. So first of all, Iron Man, the movie, like the whole point is that he was arrogant. He had this thing called a character arc, where he wasn't arrogant anymore. His whole character flipped from the first, like, Iron Man, and especially Iron Man 2. He is very, like, I know what is right, I know what to do. To Civil War, it's like, you know what, actually, I could be wrong. I'm going to put the trust into someone else because of everything that happened with Ultron.
And then there's a line in Spider-Man Homecoming where he's like, kid, I wanted you to be better than me.
So it's like these aren't comparable. It's like the show has no idea. Like, the writers would disagree with you. Like, do you realize that? Writers would be like, no, she's not arrogant. What are you talking about? It's awesome. You have no fucking idea she's arrogant.
This guy, or this guy, or this guy, or this guy.
They all learned from that. They all had character arcs. Jin is going to stay this way. This is just who Jin is. This is a positive to the writers that she's like this.
Yeah, she is not changed from episode 1 to episode, like, at all. Like, there's been no development. No development.
All the characters that he showed were already, like, changing by now.
Yeah.
Yeah, in a nutshell, like, yes, they were all arrogant, but those were portrayed as negative traits.
Exactly.
In their respective.
Not comparable. Again, I guarantee you the writers of She-Hulk would disagree with that assessment. They don't think she's arrogant.
Being a Hulk than she actually is, and dismisses people offering her help until she doesn't. We haven't gotten there yet, but I do have a feeling when Jen meets the other lawyer superhero, he's gonna have something to say about the...
I highly doubt that that's how those scenes are gonna play out, my guy. I think Daryl's gonna show up, and he's gonna be a fucking idiot.
Well,
we did bestest ever.
We did see a scene of them interacting in a trailer or whatever, and it's basically just like Daredevil saying like oh, you're like, you have the potential or whatever, like you're really great, and She-Hulk is just like, I like this guy,
And
like he agrees that I am great.
So this video is going to age really badly when we're at the end of the show and Jin is just as arrogant as she was in the first episode. She didn't change at all.
The whole work-life balance thing. I also like that Jen feels like an adult. Maybe it's just because...
No?
No, quite the opposite.
She's
actually.
extremely petty and childish in a lot of instances. Like, again, she's every negative stereotype of a woman, like, wrapped up into one. She's petty as shit. She's fucking like, I don't agree. She's adult.
I am also in my 30s, but I can really relate to the idea of having to go on bad dates or...
She is a cunt to each and every one of these guys. Okay, you want to say that she's an adult? Did you just forget about the scene where an actual adult male, like, goes up to her and a friend and is, like, super nice, does everything right, realizes he's not welcome, but kind of leaves the door open and just politely leaves? Super fucking nice, does everything right, not a fucking ounce of badness in what he did. And afterward, Jen's like, and that's why I don't fucking date anyone. She's like just a cunt. And you're saying that she's an adult? Does she act like an adult? What the fuck are you talking about?
Or attend a chaotic wedding. That's why this conversation that Jen has in the beginning of episode 1 with Bruce feels apt. Jen talking about how Steve never got to have sex is both a fun...
That's fuck you for writing that. Seriously. The guy who just like who did sacrifice his fucking life to win World War II gets shit on for being a virgin, which I don't even think is true. You're telling me that one of those showgirls that he was doing like propaganda with didn't want some fucking Captain American dick?
I think they did.
I don't buy it.
I think they did confirm that at the end of the episode, but it shouldn't
even still. It's like it's bullshit. What are you talking about? This like fucking heroes like whether or not he was a virgin? Who gives a shit?
Also, it's not like him and Peggy didn't do anything after Endgame was over.
Exactly. It's like, yeah, Endgame really fucks it up because like, well, no, like he's still alive. First of all,
yeah,
he's just old. It's like, of course they fought.
So an acknowledgement that the MCU's second lead character never got to just slow down and date. At least not so far as we see. So She-Hulk
That's not how I read that scene at all. And that's not, like... To frame this as in any way respectful to Captain America is insane to me.
She-Hulk exploring that is refreshing. Especially since Tony being a little playboy was one of the things that drew us to the MCU. He had a sense of humor, felt human. We've gotten those relatable adult relationships from, oh look, this guy, this guy, this guy, and this guy. So I do really like Jen and all of her supporting characters. Nikki, Pug, really loved their dynamic as...
Explain! Fuck me! Have references, dude. I'm writing a fucking video right now. I would love to just say shit like this and not have to have any fucking references or arguments at all. He just said, like, it's good, it's great. I love them. They're all good. Like, please explain to me why these characters are good.
And I like that we have little Nikki and Pug adventures.
Why do you like it? Tell me.
With Mallory Book, a character.
Why do you appreciate it?
Role in the slot comic run from 04. Jen's family is fun. Wong and
Jen's family is fun.
Madison, Patty Harrison. It all works for me. That's why I found it so.
Why does it work for you? God damn it!
No, I like it.
Tell me why. I'm gonna have someone's ass for dinner. You fucking tell me why you like this.
I like it, and that's why I like it. It's cool.
Fuck me, dude.
So odd when so many YouTubers came after this show so hard. And I mean, you know, I know it's the usual everything is woke crowd, but...
Fuck off. So everything is woke. It's like, I don't know, man. Like, make your arguments. Like, people that you're responding to have all these arguments for why Jen is an insufferable, unlikable cunt. Like, respond to them. Like, disprove them. You can do it. Go on.
I was still curious. What are they saying and why? Well, most of their complaints fell into 3 buckets. Criticism, nonsense, and woke.
We have 3 categories. Let's make a list. Criticism, nonsense, and woke. This is the 3rd one. Let's see.
Criticism is the gateway here. They say things like, they should have given Jen more adversity to contrast with her being a Hulk, which, maybe, not quite as cut and dry for me, but if that's how you feel, more power to you. They find her unlikable because they think she's too mean to Bruce. We'll get to it, but sure, maybe...
Okay, I cannot wait for you to defend that scene. I cannot wait. I'm so excited.
Not a fan of any character who would dismiss a helpful Bruce Banner, whatever. Maybe they don't like the edit.
That's not the point. She doesn't just dismiss him. She shits all over his fucking life experience.
Yeah.
really, really shitty thing to do, and to your cousin no less. He just completely fucking invalidates his entire experience as Hulk.
Or the acting, which that one I don't really get. Say what you will about the writing, but I think the actors are all doing excellent jobs.
I don't know about that, but most comes down to the writing.
But
so
they will throw
whatever.
out some criticism and do that thing that I used to do where you give tips on how to improve it. And this is part of why I don't do those videos.
You don't give out tips to how to improve things anymore? Okay. That seemed like a good quality to have, but sure, man.
It can be annoying. I'll make a video about exactly why later. And
Why
then
can it be
they will
annoying?
also
What?
talk about the message. How Marvel
Oh, that's a nod at Critical Trigger.
too woke.
That's funny.
And listen, obviously it's silly, right? Who uses woke unironically?
Fucking. Hey, dude, ever seen the movie Karen? You ever seen that movie, dude? They unironic. So, it's real quick. I'm not tangenting here, but I don't know if you heard of the movie Karen that released like a few weeks ago. It was written by this woke weirdo, and they unironically use woke as a positive. So yes, woke does get used by both sides unironically. I don't know what the fuck you're saying. That is a word that means something in today's current climate that is used.
These days. Who are you, Bill Maher? But these guys do.
Who are you,
First,
Bill
they
Maher?
love to talk about how Marvel focuses too much on politics, and I want to make a distinction here. Just because you disagree with someone about something does not make it politics.
Not how that works. They're absolutely forcing politics into these shows, and I don't know how you can argue otherwise.
Because politics are easy to dismiss. It's something that people believe you should keep out of entertainment, which is a dumb thing to say in general, because all shows and movies you like are political.
No. Yeah, how is Star Wars political?
Star Wars is the Vietnam War,
Tell
the
me.
Viet Cong are the rep.
Wait, what did you just say? Hold on. I think he may, hold on, I need to see the whole thing. He may have just done
It's
racism.
something that people believe you should keep out of entertainment, which is a dumb thing to say in general, because all shows and movies you like are political. Star Wars is the Vietnam War, and the Viet Cong are the rebels, and America's the Empire.
Oh no, he did the opposite of the racism. Okay, so I'm gonna be honest with you, guy. So, that line that you just said, that's woke. To insinuate that America is the fucking empire and the Viet Cong are the rebels, that's an interesting thing to say. I also highly doubt that when George Lucas was writing it, he thought like, oh, this is the rebels are the Viet Cong and the Empire is the Americans.
It's stylistically
Like-
designed to be that way.
That's a good argument, Senator. How about backing it with a source? My source is that I made it the fuck up. I have to listen to that one more time. I can't believe you just said that. That's fucking insane.
Does not make it politics. Because politics are easy to dismiss. It's something that people believe you should keep out of entertainment, which is a dumb thing to say in
Right, so that's a good pause. So real quick for that, like, it's not as simple as keeping out politics. It's like, okay, so like there are movies and shows that do have messages that could be seen as political, that could be seen as like being, you know, like drawing from real world events that happened around the time that the movie or show was made. But again, it's all about how you do it, man. It's all about how you do it. And even then, I think there's tons of shows and movies that aren't political, that are just trying to tell a story.
Yeah.
Like, why? Like, you can't just say that Star Wars is a fucking. It's an allegory for the Vietnam War. Like, that's true. What are you talking about, dude?
General, because all shows and movies you like are political. Star Wars is the Vietnam War, and the Viet Cong are the rebels, and America's the Empire. Don't believe me?
And it was the same thing with the Vietnamese.
Yep.
The irony of that one is, in both of those, the little guys won,
Right.
and the big, highly technical empire,
The English Empire. Right?
English
British
Empire, the American Empire,
Yeah.
lost.
Yeah.
That was the whole point.
Thanks, George. Pretty
What the fuck? George. Why'd you say that? Okay, so again, he probably thought of that after the fact, and I sure hope he's not saying that that Americans, or that America is as bad as the fucking Empire.
but nobody minds. Mad Men, Game of Thrones, Terminator 2, Shawshank.
What the fuck? So Game of Thrones is all political, but what, like, modern politics is in that show? Fucking nothing. It's medieval. It's medieval politics. That's not the argument. The argument is that we have all these writers taking modern, woke politics and forcing it into their shows. Okay?
Sounds right so far.
Star Wars was trying to tell a story. Game of Thrones was telling a story. You can like pick things out and try to make all these allegories, but like I said before, I highly doubt that George had the fucking Viet Cong and the American Empire, which again, not applicable at all, the scenarios, but okay, man. He didn't have those in mind when he was writing it. He just wanted to tell a fucking space story. Insane. Like, I don't get this argument. Why is this?
Mad Max. All very political, written by people who are not subtle about the messages of their shows or movies. But okay, those are other movies. But the MCU, that's different. I mean,
Is that the point? It's how it's fucking. Yeah. So in Game of Thrones, it's very clear that the whole point of the entire fucking series is like an allegory for climate change. And just an allegory for like world-ending events, and how if everyone just got together and worked it out and stopped all these petty fucking fightings, it would be fine. Like, there are no sides. Your side's already been chosen for you. Life versus death. Okay, that's the entire point of Game of Thrones. Okay, the White Walkers are just an allegory for fucking climate change. It's all about how George did it. It's all about how both Georges did it. George Lucas, like, it's not. I don't. Like, he's not disproving the argument. His argument is the classic. Well, you don't like the politics, where everything has politics. It's like, okay, but how?
I feel like another YouTuber I like to watch The Closer Look, he in one of his videos he like made a good point about writing politics that I think is pretty applicable. It's like, don't like take a side when you're writing politics. Just present an idea to the audience and let them decide where they fall on it. Kind of like the Cap versus Iron Man debate in Civil War. Like, some people think Iron Man was right, some people think Cap was right. You get what I mean?
sure, Iron Man is a war profiteer, Thor is part of an imperialist regime, Captain America is wearing a flag, but none of that.
Captain America is wearing a flag, therefore political. His name is Captain America, dude. I just love how he put wearing a flag is the same as being the leader of an imperialistic nation and being a warmonger. That's funny to me.
This is political. And
That's not. Why don't you throw in the fact
Captain
twerking?
Marvel. And
Okay.
it's her for Moon Knight. That
Just showing that clip. That is such a great out of context clip, like showing her twerking and being like, "This is political."
Fuck, dude.
That's really funny.
It's all about how it's done, dude. It doesn't matter.
That's when it becomes a thing. These people treat it like it's a new thing, but this has always been how the Marvel Cinematic Universe works. So when they're saying political, they mean, you know, progressive. Specifically, the progressive things they do not like the idea of mansplaining. Or I get.
Yeah, the idea of mansplaining is fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like what I was supposed to say. It's dumb.
But
It makes it like a man versus woman thing for no fucking reason. It's stupid. It's like, yeah, talk about like complaining, the bottom of the barrel of bitching.
yeah,
saying
but
that you're oppressed.
because I got mansplained, that makes my life worse than your decade worth of trauma.
Again, please defend this scene. Jin is acting incredibly horrible to Bruce for no reason.
Because the idea of a woman talking about mansplaining, that's political. Not the Mandarin or Hydra, that.
God. So he's not even making. So the better argument he could be making is that both are political, but he's saying that the mansplain thing isn't political, but Hydra is. It's like, no, they both are. Just the Hydra thing is handled much better.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, we get it. Like, we know that they're Nazis. Not saying that, like, everyone who aren't progressive are Nazis. That would be bad if they were trying to say that. Actually, fucking perfect example. So, Hydra in MCU, totally fine. Modern, some of like, there's this like modern, there was this modern Captain America comic, right? Trying to like make Red Skull be like Jordan Peterson, because these idiots think that Jordan Peterson is like a pipeline to the alt-right. It's like, so that's bad. Now why is that bad? Even though both instances are political, it's like, well, let's see. One is trying to make a point about a real person in politics, and is trying to make him out to be a fucking Nazi, when that is not applicable at all. And the other isn't trying to do any of that shit. At most, it's just like, yeah, Nazis are bad. It's like, yeah, we knew that. That's cool. But yeah, sure. It's not like... Like, would he, like, if he was here, like, would he see that difference? Would he see, like, what I mean by that? Why one I'm cool with, the other I'm not?
Mm-hmm.
How you do it?
But if they just did not like it because it was too woke, I wouldn't care. I mean, I think it's dumb, but plenty of people are dumb about plenty of things. What do you...
And yeah, I mean, they don't. Like, they say, it's woke. Also, here's all, like, the problems with the writing. Yeah, it's both. Both are a problem.
What are you gonna do? But that's not the end of it. Because they're not just trying to make the case that these shows are bad and also woke. They believe these shows are bad because they are woke. And this is why it gets on my...
I mean, it's part of it. I don't know, man. Like woke means something very, like, specific, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's used sometimes positively, most of the time people hear it, it's a negative. It's like people know what you mean when you say something's woke.
Yeah.
Nerds. They use legitimate criticism to launder all of this woke nonsense. And I know what you're thinking. Legitimate criticism? Isn't all criticism legitimate? Why are you in charge of what's good and bad criticism? Sure, I'll give you an example. Saying you don't like She-Hulk's design because it doesn't look like the comics or something. Legitimate criticism. But saying you don't like She-Hulk's design because she's blue. Illegitimate criticism. Bad. Because it is not blue. Like, we can see this character and we know what's actually going on. So
Oh my god, is he making an objective argument? Holy shit, dude. Oh my god. Also, I'm glad they showed the dress. The dress looks horrible.
any conclusion drawn from that illegitimate criticism is pointless. So this is where their third type of complaint comes in.
Nonsense.
Deliberate or otherwise, these guys just frequently miss the point of scenes or just completely misunderstand the show itself. It's kind of impressive. Like on one of their unbearably long podcasts, and I should know, I run an unbearably long podcast called Mostly Nitpicking. You're welcome to subscribe and listen to us. But on one, a certain YouTuber made the point that Jen basically catfished the guy she slept with. He was confused.
She did. Please explain why she didn't.
He saw Jen and left, and they blamed Jen because she misrepresented herself. Didn't give that poor guy a heads up. What a jerk. Except she did. It's in the episode. We watched it. She tells him about transforming from Jen to She-Hulk, and he acknowledges the stress that situation creates, so he's on board. He just does not like Jen, like he says in the very next episode, which is fine. He doesn't have to. You can have one-night stands. It's dating. But he is pretty weird about it. Jen is not in the wrong here at all. But these guys never give her the benefit of the doubt. Every situation needs to be about Jen being a jerk. An unlikable, ungrateful jerk. So that's where they start. And when all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail. Take the Bruce training sequence. They will...
Then I didn't watch the episode. Is that true?
Sorry, which part? Which part? True.
The part where she apparently explained that she transforms into Jinn, and so it's not like catfishing.
Yeah, that sounds right.
I still have a problem. Like, oh man, it's whatever.
say that everything involving Bruce only exists to show us how much better Jen is than Bruce, that she is stronger and smarter, and the show is tearing him down, making him look like a fool, and making Jen look perfect. Except, if you watch the show, Jen is far from perfect in those interactions.
The show doesn't acknowledge it, my guy. The show takes her side. Even when she fake apologizes, she looks at the camera and says, "I'm sorry, even though I was totally right." Like, the show doesn't acknowledge any of this. Why are you acting like it does?
Also, I don't like how Bruce is characterized in those scenes either. He's not really the type of character that would like get competitive and like get annoyed that she's like doing better than him and, you know, push her off the cliff.
Yeah.
Like, Bruce wouldn't do that. That was incredibly out of character.
Yeah, they want to, like, they want to show that Jen is so much better. Oh no, Bruce's ego's getting hurt. But like, real quick, back to the catfish scene. I would still have a problem with it, even if he told her. Like, okay, first of all, he like actually understand what the fuck she meant? And even if he did, you still used She-Hulk to get a date with this guy when you wouldn't have as Jen.
Yeah.
And you're surprised that the morning after he doesn't like Jen, he only likes She-Hulk. You walked into this like this is your fault. How is the guy in the wrong for not wanting Jen? He went on a date with She-Hulk. He expected her to stay as She-Hulk.
And Bruce is almost completely right. Everything he tells Jen, that she
The writers would disagree with you, my guy. I think Bruce is wrong in these scenes.
ignores would solve her big problems. In episodes 3, 4, and 5, Jen is having trouble balancing her She-Hulk life with her lawyer life. Specifically, she is denying the She-Hulk part. Jen spends 2 entire episodes explaining how she just wants nothing to do with the name She-Hulk, only to have that cause problems in episode 5. If Jen had embraced this part of her life, she would not need to wrestle the copyright away from Titania because Jen would already have it. But a more media-savvy character who knows the value of branding and the superhero image is able to challenge Jen. When Jen is dating, she can't find balance. Jen dates losers as Jen, and she says she's not interested in finding a...
Just dates losers, it's Jen. Yep, just... Okay. They're just all losers, I guess.
partner, but she does clearly want some companion.
Oh, you guys have anything to say about any of this? This is just like, sure, man, whatever. Would really like more references as to why.
Yeah, I don't really know what else to say. Like,
It's just like, this is sure, man.
Championship.
Yeah.
Then she goes full She-Hulk, finds a bunch of guys who only like her as She-Hulk, and they don't work either. Jen needs to find balance between being She-Hulk and Jen. Sure, we don't see it happen, but Bruce explains it in Endgame. We want the best of both worlds. That's what Jen needs. But she refuses, partially because...
Dude, can you give me some references as to how... I don't... Like, if the writers and him were here, the writers would be like, what the fuck are you talking about? That's
Also,
not...
he said that She-Hulk is ignoring the lessons Bruce gave her that would, like, solve her problems, but, like, him mentioning best of both worlds in Endgame is not a lesson he taught her. Like, that's something he said, but it's not something he said to her.
She wouldn't even know because she completely dismissed any and all lessons he was trying to give.
Yeah.
She didn't want to be here. She didn't give a shit. She was just trying to help. She didn't want his help. And then she desperately fucking needs it. And dude, this is all headcanon, my guy. Like, I don't know what you're doing.
because she is scared of getting out of her comfort.
Like, sure, you're just explaining things that happen, and he's trying to relate it to this through line of her having to, like, merge her two lifestyles into one. And it's like, man, fucking beats me. It sure didn't, like, show that happening. You sure think that's what's happening, though, in your headcanon.
Comfort zone, and partially because she thinks she does not need help. The transforming was easy for Jen, the rest of it must be too.
That's bullshit. Why is it easy for her? Why make it so... I don't understand how they just removed that whole alter ego aspect of the Hulk. They just removed it. She's just Jen in both. And she can just transform in and out, it's totally fine. She has complete control over the Hulk form immediately.
Well, that's the thing with comics, too.
Yeah, sure, but I still don't like how they did it.
It's just not explained, especially when Bruce can't even do that.
Yeah, she simply can.
Yeah, she just has the willpower.
But these guys don't get that. They say that all this stuff is pointless because Bruce has nothing to teach her, but they're just plain wrong. Bruce is being very clear, and it's honestly hard to miss. In the end, these guys don't want Jen to be a flawed, interesting character. That would mean the show is good. They want her to be a...
Okay, so
I
now
do not-
you're implying... Hold on, real quick. So now, fucker, you're implying intent. Well, fuck you, first of all. I don't fucking know what they think. You have no idea. It's a complete and utter straw man. So he's saying he doesn't want people... I mean, he's talking about fucking EFAP. That's all. He wants, like, EFAP and everyone in that circle who hates the show He thinks that they want the show to be bad. That couldn't be further from the fucking truth.
Right. This is the
I
one
would
that I was.
love for all of these shows to be good.
This is the show that I was looking forward to the most, actually, when these all
It's
got announced.
complete fucking bullshit. He's trying. He's saying that they just want to complain. They want like shows to be bad. They just want to complain about it. That's not fucking true. Ever heard of Arcane? A show that was really good? He made 4 streams about how good it was. They absolutely do not want shows to be bad. We would love for all shows to be like Arcane, so they can just talk about how good everything is.
Right.
So fuck you. Sorry, Nathan, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I would love if this show was good.
Yeah.
Me too.
Like I'm basically done with the MCU after this show. And like I don't want it to be that way. But it's like Phase 4 has been such a pile of garbage that I don't want to watch any more of it after this. I'm only
That's just... This is really scummy of him to say.
I'm
to say
only
that.
I'm only coming back for Guardians 3 and Deadpool 3 because those are the only things I think have any potential to be good. But like,
You want the show to be bad.
I loved the MCU.
Yeah.
Like movies like the first Iron Man or Winter Soldier or Homecoming. They're all great.
Me and Nathan, when
Like-
Endgame came out, literally asked for the day off just so we could go see Endgame when it came out. Like, we went out
It's
of our
like-
way to go see it. We don't hate that. We didn't hate it. We don't.
It's not good anymore.
Yeah.
And I wish it wasn't that way. I wish all these movies and shows were still good, but they're not.
I mean, that just tells me that he's not arguing in good faith at all. He's just like saying, "Oh yeah, all these people criticizing this show want it to be bad." That's just flat out not true.
No. You know who else is an interesting, flawed character? Matt Murdock.
Yep,
Like,
sure is.
he's.
Okay. Mary Sue. So they watched.
Oh yeah, man, they fucking hate that word, dude. It's so applicable. I'm sorry. Right, Mary Sue. It's like I don't know what to tell you. Still right.
Yeah. I wanted to avoid using the word, but yeah.
It's applicable. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah.
Like Ray is a poster child of that fucking word now because of how applicable it is. I don't know what else to say. Yeah, like you know these writers could just not write characters to be Mary Sue's, right? And then
Yeah.
that word wouldn't be in use so commonly.
It's you gotta let them struggle. You can't just
Like I'm sorry, dude, but She-Hulk is a Mary Sue. A lot of people like her for no fucking reason when they shouldn't. She's good at everything.
yeah, she does it
She just-
perfectly the first time.
And just any challenge she faces is just resolved by her easily. And any flaws that she has is not like recognized by the show. The show thinks that she's perfect and amazing and awesome and so good.
these scenes and draw these conclusions, and then boom, woke show, bad show. Now, I'm not saying if you.
It's not even as simple as woke show equals bad show. You could, I don't know. Well, it just depends on your definition of woke, I guess. People would say House of the D is woke. There's certainly people behind it who are woke, but the difference is that I don't think any of that actually in the show. It doesn't translate to the show. And even if they meant it to, it didn't. That's the difference.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like just the dismissing of like, oh, all these fucking assholes think it's woke equal bad.
I'm fine.
Does woke equal good in your world? Like, I don't like. What does woke mean to you?
I'm fine if you like something I don't. Like, it doesn't affect me, so why should I care? But when you start, like, saying that I'm wrong for liking it, that's when it annoys. Or I'm wrong for not liking it, that's when I have a problem.
It matters to me only because if a lot of people like something that's shit, we're going to get more of that shit.
Yeah.
It's the only reason why it would bother me. I want things to be good, man.
You do not like She-Hulk for any reason that makes you a bad person. Of course not. And I'm not saying that I think the show is flawless. I do really enjoy it, but it's...
Yeah, it's not flawless. The hangover thing, the CGI, and the fucking Hulk isn't in it enough. The rest, though, it's totally fine.
not always Sunny or Cheers. But what I am saying is that the people driving the conversation, with millions of views, these YouTubers are either purposefully misrepresenting the show...
Fuck you. Again, you're... Prove it.
or completely
Prove it, fucker.
misunderstanding it. And they will talk all this nonsense.
You can't just describe intent like that and not prove it.
He's probably doing that because, like, if he calls specific people out, his fans will go attack them.
No, he can't use specific examples because he doesn't fucking have any. He had the one where he was being vague about someone who said that she was catfishing this. It's like there was a lot of other I know I watched the EFAT podcast that he's talking about. There was a lot more to that criticism than just the catfishing.
It's like you don't have to address who said it, you just need to, like, address the problem. Doesn't matter who said it. Like, if you have a problem with what they said, then, like, bring it into full context.
It's like, I don't know, man. I would hope that I would have a fan base. If I was him, I would have a fan base that wouldn't just immediately pounce and fucking attack on anyone who I brought up.
Yeah, that's toxic as fuck.
It doesn't happen to EFAB. EFAB's bringing up fucking people by name all the time. But EFAB community don't do that. They're just like, yeah.
Sense and draw a conclusion.
If you gotta name names, man, name them. Just give me arguments, give me references for that. You described intent. Like, that's pretty shitty. Said that they're intentionally fucking lying.
These YouTubers will tell you that the show is attacking men. She-Hulk.
How is it not, dude? Do I have to show you the scene where a incredibly polite and friendly guy is trying to talk to Jin? And he's like, okay, I feel unwelcome, but hey, the door's open if you'd like to talk to me, and, you know, you're really pretty. And Jin just shits all over him. It's like, what the fuck was wrong with that guy and his approach? Was that not shitting on men? Or, like, approaching a woman in public and trying to make conversation to her in such a friendly and, like, non-intrusive way.
Really? Like, come on.
Fuck off, dude.
Hates men. The writers hate men. But it's just not true.
Prove it.
There's so many positive men on the show. Pug.
Dude, Wong is a fucking criminal. Don't show him.
He's a fucking dumbass. And so is Pug. Pug's also stupid.
And just because you have a few men who aren't, like, horrible, who aren't written to be horrible and shitty, doesn't mean you aren't shitting on men. That's not how that works. Like, even the most, like, crazy woke progressive people don't think literally all men are evil. Like, there are woke men who they would be fine with. Not the point. When you have a character like lawyer asshole guy who's just stereotypically an evil, like, misogynist, like, yeah, you're kind of shitting on men.
It was really on the nose. Like, there's literally a scene at the bar where he's like, oh, there's this hot woman over there. I'm gonna go talk to it.
No, it's so, like, it's such a negative stereotype of,
it's
like, the
such-
dude bro, like, asshole
It's
guy.
such an on the nose line, though, right?
Yeah.
Wong, her dad, Daredevil eventually, Bruce, Abomination for now, and a bunch of others I'm not gonna mention.
You don't get to throw Daredevil in there. You're assuming he'll be good when he shows up. You can't
Dude,
just put him on.
he's assuming a lot of things. Like, this video is going to age terribly, man, I'm telling you.
Mention because I don't want to, spoil episodes you may not have seen. The show is full of good guys. The writers of the show don't hate men; they hate bullies, like Captain America did, and the jerks that cause Jen the most.
This jerk is such a it's a negative stereotype of how men are. This is how the writers think the typical, like, business guy is.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't like negative stereotypes of anyone, and this is what this character is. Like, fucking write some subtlety into it, man. You can have, like, bad, like, douchebag characters, but just, like, be a little more subtle with what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
Most trouble happen to be largely men, but you don't need to take that as an attack on you because you're not a jerk. Or you don't have to be. But all of the men in the show exist, some version.
He just, like, did you just preemptively pause it because you thought I was gonna say something? Is that what that was?
I didn't pause it.
Nathan, why'd you pause it?
Oh, whoops, sorry. I forgot I need to push the button.
You just pause it and then say anything.
Yeah, I forgot I was on push to talk. Yeah, I was just making the joke of, like, yeah, you don't have to be a jerk, Ryan.
Yeah, I'm a jerk.
Yeah.
They're obviously heightened for comedy and superhero purposes, but they're out there, and they are in the minority. But if we all agree that they exist...
Yeah, these guys...
That is not what the writers are gonna say. That is not what the writers are gonna say.
Yeah, and, like, these three guys, like, okay, she walks out of a bar, three guys immediately try to fucking, like, rape her. Come on, dude. You know what you're trying to say. She just fucking kills him, too, immediately.
And they bother
No,
them
she
at
doesn't.
bars.
I was joking.
She just kind of, like, yells at them and then gets tackled by Hulk.
Okay, what would have happened if she didn't get tackled by Hulk?
Yeah, she probably would have killed them.
The
That's
show
my
should
point.
talk about that, and we should all enjoy watching She-Hulk scare them together. And I wasn't going to
Should.
call anybody out, but I kind of need to for this.
Oh.
There's a channel called The Critical Drinker. Don't
Oh no, the critical drinker, dude! Oh, people really don't like him. Let's see what he has to say.
know much about him beyond what I can glean from his She-Hulk videos, but man, now I'm not going to play the video. I'm going to read it to you because I don't want him to be able to give me a copyright strike and get
Don't worry, he doesn't give a shit. As long as you transform it, it's fine, dude.
paid.
Calm
I'm
down.
going to do the best I can to capture the spirit of how he said it so it doesn't seem like I'm misrepresenting the video. You're welcome to go watch it yourself. Only for her to run into a group of
Okay. He's taking this quote. So, anyone take issue with this quote? Because I sure don't. That's basically what happens. Guys?
Yeah, I don't really see much wrong with it. Oh,
I just backed out of the fucking watch together. Hold on.
Underwolf's video.
Uh-oh. I'm still here? Watch
Yeah.
together?
yeah, I'm still
Okay.
here. I assume Nathan's
Where
still
were
here.
we?
I got this.
Okay. So that was my bad.
I know it's probably a little
Let's
too
look at-
late for this, but
Yeah.
I forgot that I'm gonna need to transform this video. Not like I'm like I have AdSense or anything on it, but now you just have Sonic doing a line of coke in the background.
Dude,
I mean,
we're talking
I'd say us
transforming.
providing, yeah, us providing frequent commentary should be plenty transformative.
That's why, I mean, we pause it a lot.
Yeah,
we have,
that's true.
There have been some times where there's like 45 seconds of the video playing. I was like, oh, I should probably pause it just to
Yeah.
say something. We're fine. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Kidding. We're good. This is transformative. But yeah, I have absolutely no issues with this quote. This is what is reality. This is what they wanted you to think, and they really didn't do anything evil. Like all you had to do was have one of them like fucking grab her or something like that. We needed. So it would have been not subtle, but yeah, I'm curious as to what is going to take with this.
Of evil men outside. I mean, I assume they're evil because that's clearly what the writer wants us to think. The problem is, they don't really do anything all that bad. I mean, they show some mild interest in Jen, who's clearly not that interested, but when they persist, she hulks up and almost kills all of them. So we all know what these guys are doing is not being a bit too forward. They're harassing her.
You and me have different opinions on the word harass and harassment. So harassment is usually like, you know, more than like it's repeated interactions, repeated unwanted interactions, I think is, let me look up the definition actually. I'm pretty sure it's something that goes something like that. Aggressive pressure or intimidation is the Oxford definition of the word harassment. Guys, would you say that was aggressive pressure or intimidation from those three guys? Because I wouldn't.
No.
Yeah, neither would I. That's okay.
She's scared that they're gonna be violent. And I mean, they're surrounding her in a parking lot, so...
I mean... Is this what constitutes surrounding?
I mean, all those women in the bathroom surrounded her. Is that harassment?
Again, like, I don't... We just had different definitions. Like, to him, because he's a crazy person, believes that this is harassment. I'm like, no, it's not really what harassment means. I mean, they're in a parking lot. They're in an environment. They're being, like, mingling and talking to someone and trying to get, like, a hookup is common. They're in a bar. They're in a fucking parking lot. Like, there's people just right there. What do you think they're gonna try to do? Like, he's trying to make it seem like this is like a dark alley with like no one around. Just these three guys.
Yeah.
It's not really
That's bad.
the same
We
thing.
know
Okay.
that. You know that. You wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. Practically none of us would. So...
That's a declaration. I don't know. I clearly would have stopped after the first like line and she's just walking away. It's like, oh, I guess she's not interested. But and to call this harassment is not. It's not what harassment is, my guy.
those are the men. The ones that we are meant to hate along with She-Hulk. It's not...
Yeah, we're meant to, but they didn't do fucking anything to deserve that. It's the Dawn all over again in Captain Marvel. The Dawn didn't do jack fucking shit. He gets his motorbike stolen. He didn't do anything. He just asked her to smile. He didn't even tell her to smile. He fucking asked her to smile.
I think she also breaks his hand.
No, that was the deleted scene. But yes, that was even more horrible. But at least that wasn't in the final movie. Which is why I didn't bring it up. It's just like these insane people who just don't like how do you like, is there a right? What's the right way to approach a woman? Like, it doesn't even matter because, again, they had the fucking scene where the guy is like the nicest motherfucker in the world and doesn't harass her in any fucking way and just shits all over him.
Yeah.
Everybody, just a small group of bullies. The problem is, some guys with big platforms who think what the guys in this clip are doing is not that bad feel like the show is calling out all men because
Isn't that bad? What? You need to explain why it is. Why is it harassment?
it's calling out them, and we shouldn't listen to them. They call people betas. They clearly don't deserve to be taken seriously.
Calling people betas? You don't get taken seriously anymore, I guess. Alright. See, getting called a beta really offends you. I'm not making any declarations. And when I first saw you, I did call you soy. I don't think we got that in the stream though, but that is what I said.
Oh yeah, I don't think I got that, but
And I don't know, man. You just give off that vibe. Like I don't know what else to tell you, man. You give off that soy vibe. But okay.
In Philadelphia, we have a word for people like them. Jabronis. Like in their video
Okay.
analyzing why the trailer makes She-Hulk look bad, this jabroni went out of his way.
Just
Is he-
he's so upset that EFAP exists.
Why is he calling them bronies?
He said jabroni or it's some fucking term. I don't know. Some Philadelphia shit.
yeah.
I'm guessing it just means like dude bro, like the fucking Chads or whatever the fuck. I don't know.
Way twice to tell you how Jen was ungrateful for the powers she volunteered for. And if you've read the comics or have even the
That's not the
vaguest
point.
passing idea of She-Hulk's backstory, you know how wild of an assumption that is. And he uses that to justify Jen being whiny. Why is she whining?
Isn't the point of what he said. Again, I know what he's talking about. Can't remember who exactly said it. Yeah, he's saying EFAP. He clearly does not want to name them. He just fucking hates them. Seems. They said it's not the point that she was given the powers, is that when she had the powers, she is ungrateful for this. She like doesn't want this in any way. She doesn't understand how this can be used to like help people. It's like, I don't know. I could see someone saying that that's ungrateful. What's the problem with that? Like, obviously, it's shit to be, like, a Hulk, but from all we know, there's, like, barely any negatives to be the fucking Hulk in her world. She doesn't
I know.
have, like, it's not like she's gonna snap at any moment, kill a bunch of people, which is what Bruce is worried about.
About these powers she asked for, I assume for no reason. But she didn't, of course. That has never
It's
been Jen's
completely
origin.
strong.
But this guy doesn't know
Fuck
that.
yeah.
Otherwise,
Okay.
this would be an insane conclusion to jump to.
They actually did know that. They talk about her original backstory a bunch.
But
So,
he is
yeah.
using it to judge the show,
Again, who is this he? Fucking name names, you pussy.
and
Fuck you.
specifically Jen's attitude problem. Complaining about something bad that happens to you, that's normal. But complaining about something you signed up for, that's whiny. So she's probably doing that second thing because
Wasn't the point
Jen's a
at
bad
all.
character, even though the show hasn't come out yet. And in their next video, called She-Hulk, it's a comedy, they look back at the show's first few episodes to determine whether the show's comedy works for them. Oh, no? They rush out a video analyzing the one scene that has been released at the time? Can't see how that could backfire, so he goes over the only scene that has been released thus far, Jen's conversation with Bruce in the car. And this jabroni, looking to find something to hate about Jen and the writers.
Describing intent, man. Fuck
the
you,
show,
buddy.
takes issue with Jen's description of Steve's sex life, and I kid you not, calls Jen and the writers out for forgetting that Steve was on the USO tour for a while and probably had.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure he's not talking about Nerdrotic. There's been enough references. So again, Nerdrotic basically said what I said, was he was just saying, like, I don't even believe that he's a virgin. He's saying, you know, he didn't fuck one of these showgirls? He wasn't using it as like a declarative statement to prove Jin wrong.
Had sex there. So this guy rushes to come up with a reason why the show is not good and jumps the gun using the first clip he can find. And that's what he says. And if you've watched the show, you know why calling the show out for this is hilarious. But what's he supposed
You can still call it out. I don't care that they try to like reprimand it at the end. It's a shit thing to say. It's fucking stupid.
to do? Wait until there's more than one scene? We need to prove that the show is...
You also, fuck you, because you're making all these fucking declarative shit about the story when the rest of the episodes aren't even out yet. You're saying, oh, Daredevil will be good. Fucking Jin will have this like great character arc about learning to combine your two lives. You're doing the same fucking thing, moron.
bad immediately. Even their bad ideas about what woke means don't really hold up to any scrutiny. They say that Marvel has rules now, like that women can't lose a fight to a man. Solid rule, as long as you don't count Wanda, her, the Ancient One, Killmonger's girlfriend, this Dora Milaje, these Dora Milaje, these two, Gamora.
Okay, I've seen a lot of their content. I don't think they actually ever said that, like definitively, that no woman can lose a fight. That's not a fucking point that was brought up. But sure, man. It's really easy to just strawman the fuck out of these hypothetical people because you're not showing any clips from them. Showed that one fucking Critical Drinker quote. That was fine, I guess. At least you did that. Like, show some clips of them saying this. I don't believe you.
Gamora again, Nebula again, these two, Wanda again, Ghost again, her again, her again, her again.
This is all useless.
My personal favorite, her. And to be fair, those are all Phase 3. There probably aren't any in Phase 4. You know, besides Monica, the TVA agent, Makari again, Sprite, Kate a bunch, May, Wanda again, Love and Thunder spoilers, Sif, and Valkyrie. Okay, well that's not.
You want to go over all the times when a woman wins a fight for no fucking reason? And go over all the references in the other direction? Huh?
Because they have another rule. Women can't be wrong. You know, except for when Wanda enslaves a whole town.
Fuck you! The show forgives her!
What really bothers me about Wanda is people legitimately think she is not in the wrong.
The show does not believe she is as evil as she actually is. The show fucking forgives her. You cannot use this as a reference. Oh my fucking god.
Agatha's the bad guy. Carly kills a bunch of people for no reason. She's a bad guy. She's a bad guy. Sprite.
That's not the point. Oh my god. It's not understanding the points at all.
Joins the bad guys. Kate gets caught a lot. Kate's mom is a bad guy. Najuma's the bad guy. The damage control lady is a bad guy. His mom is abusive. She kills everybody. Titania's a bad guy. And the most wrong thing, Kamala makes her dad sad. So accepting their premise, their own rules, that they wrote.
The own strawman rules that you're fucking basing them on. Idiot.
Marvel's not that woke. These jabronis
Marvel is not that woke.
get tons of facts about the show wrong, but they're not dumb. So what's going on here? They want the show to be bad because it is woke, and
Again, dude, you can't just keep fucking saying this like it's true. Never mind all the references that I have where they say, we want these shows to be good. We want these shows to be... We want to talk about good shit. Never mind all that. Nope, they want it all to be bad because it's woke and so they can get fucking political points. Fuck you. The head of EFAT Mahler isn't even political. I have no fucking idea what his politics are. He never talks about them. Fuck you, buddy.
and they want to be right. 2 of their She-Hulk videos contain some version of the sentence, well, I thought this show would be bad and woke, and I was absolutely right. They want...
Yeah, they were. What? Why is it wrong? He had a prediction. Prediction was correct. What do you want? Thought some like other shit was gonna be bad, and it was good, and they would change their mind. They'd be like, it was actually good. Mahler didn't think House of the Dragon was gonna be good. He's really into it. It's like they can change. If the show is actually good, that they'll change their mind. Get this, dude. They won't stick with it.
I went into DC League of Super Pets expecting it to be an embarrassing disaster, but it was actually a pretty good movie that I liked.
Like like that first half of this video was bad, but like here I'm seeing the intent. I'm seeing why he made this video.
Yeah.
There's a lot of spite that's driving it.
You to think that woke equals bad, and it just doesn't.
Tell me why woke equals good. Tell me. 'Cause when I say woke, I mean a very specific thing. A group of people who have these horrible, anti-liberal, anti-progressive, shitty fucking opinions that are masquerading as progressive, as liberal, and those shitty negative messages are being put into shows. That's what I mean. That is a negative. That is bad. I don't want that. So tell me why it's good. Why is woke good?
Progressive media and bad progressive media. And I understand how this can be difficult to parse as a viewer. From what...
Okay, so like I would categorize Arcane as progressive media, like not woke, but actually progressive in the good sense, or just liberal is a better word. Like, and it's good. They liked it. I don't know what to say. Like, yeah, it's a progressive show that EFAP and all them really liked. It's a little bit more complicated than he's making it.
From what I've seen, not all of their opinions are weird. This guy liked RRR, a notoriously not political movie, but cool. And he'll do that suggesting changes thing that I used to do, and sometimes his suggestions are fine. Not, groundbreaking, but fine. So you start watching these channels and you go, I like what they're saying. They're making sense. But then they come out talking about how the show is too woke. Why does this show need to have Jen, a woman, save Bruce, a man? It's just woke propaganda.
It's more complicated than that. Dude, this is such a fucking... This isn't even a straw man. This is like a jelly man. This is a man made out of fucking jelly that he's punching.
I mean, I don't even
beat the shit out of that jelly man.
I don't even care about that that part of her origin scene, but like everything about that scene is awful. Like the spaceship that shows up and then goes away with no explanation.
Yeah.
The
Still,
fact that
So since I actually watched their content, I know what the argument was. So the argument was in the original comic, Jin is saved by Bruce. Bruce decides to give her a blood transfusion, knowing it'll turn her into a Hulk in order to save her life. Okay? That's what happens. So they had to change it for the show, and they hypothesized was because they don't want man saving a woman, and so they do it this retarded way where Bruce needs help from Jin, and he just gets blood in her fucking system, and that's how it works. It's like, that's not a huge conclusion to leap, especially considering all of the other fucking arguments, or all the other references to like modern political shit being brought into these shows. Like, yeah, I don't know.
Propaganda, and not, I don't know, the number one rule of character development. So
again, like all that beside, like throw out the woke shit. It doesn't matter one way or the other. The show's still bad.
Yeah.
The show's just badly written. Like, I don't know what else to tell you.
much Film 101 that one of the books is named after it. Just have a character save someone or something the audience likes. Then we like them. But nah, it's probably just woke propaganda, right? That's why she does it. And you like this guy. the jabroni. And he's been right about other stuff before, so you feel like they must be right about this too. And even if you like the show and you have no problem with wokeness, it's fun to go along with it. In conclusion, why did I make this video? Well, 3.
I know exactly why you made this video. I know. You don't have to tell me.
reasons. 1, I really genuinely enjoy this show and want to use my platform to talk about why. I have always been a humongous fan of the She-Hulk comics, and the Dan Slott 04 run is easily a top 3 favorite comics run of all time for me. 2, there are so many negative videos out there, and I think if someone who's not sold one way or the other goes on YouTube to see what people are saying about the show, I want them to at least see a positive take, because regardless of what these guys think, the show is popular. The numbers for it are pretty...
Do I really have to explain to you the appeal to popularity, logical fallacy? Go off. Give a shit that's popular.
pretty good. About as many people are watching it as watched Moon Knight, according to Nielsen. And
Who
they're not
cares?
all
Does this
hateful.
matter?
But the third reason I made this video, because I do think there are going to be plenty of other people making similar points to mine, but I imagine many of them will be women. And I think there's a chance people won't watch those videos.
What? So you take viewers away from them? You turn. What are you saying? That there's women defending this show and people will just disregard their opinions because they're women, so I as a man is going to defend the show for them?
Yeah, that's exactly what he's saying.
Is that kind of sexist?
Or
Oof.
might not listen. Of course they like this show. The YouTuber told me the show is for women who hate men, which is what they must be. But
And again, it's just funny that he says this. The same people he's attacking, EFAP covered a woman defending She-Hulk, and get this, they had a woman guest who was anti-She-Hulk. Oh man, that's crazy. And they didn't dismiss her because she was a woman. They argued against the points that she was making, and yeah, they were shit
Right.
points. So I don't know what the fuck he's trying to say.
I'm a guy. I like this show, and I want to tell other guys listening that it is okay to like it, and you do not need to listen to these jabronis when they invent reason after reason why it's a bad show, even though most of those things don't.
Didn't
So
you?
spite driven.
Didn't
You
you
didn't
invent-
prove that, by the way.
You literally invented reason after reason as to why you liked the show.
Exactly. You fucking like. Oh my god.
Exactly what you did, but because it was,
Fucking headcanoned it, dude.
but because it was you, it's okay.
Yeah, it's not a problem that Wong's a fugitive because I headcanoned a reason why he's not.
Yeah.
And also,
I'm sorry, but
it's
this
like-
video is so spite driven. He has such a fucking problem with Critical Drinker, with EFAT, with Nerdrotic. He fucking despises these people.
Also,
He
it's
not
like
despises, but
it's like people must hate the show because people told them to. Because people can't form their own opinions.
it's just as simple as that. Dude, I'm
Like-
like, sorry, man.
Like I don't hate the show. I don't hate the show because other people hate it. I hate it because I think it's genuinely poorly written and has awful characters.
And I love how you just glossed over the whole, like, Jin denying versus experience scene. You didn't even, like, try to defend it, but yeah. I was hoping you would.
If you don't
Kind
agree with
of,
everything
but-
I've said, that's fine. But don't listen to these guys about how everything is too woke.
No, I'm gonna continue to listen to them. They're a lot more intelligent than you.
The MCU.
Dude, I fucking hates Nerdrotic. Nerdrotic started that, and he was so right. MCU, such a good line.
It's embarrassing. That's not why some of these shows and movies aren't as good as the old ones. It's probably mostly because they're making too many of them and also
That's part of it. Also because they're getting a bunch of fucking diversity hire writers who don't know what the fuck they're doing. Who are putting a bunch of woke shit in. Bunch of woke messaging.
COVID screwed things up. If you don't like She-Hulk, don't like it. That's fine. But you deserve better. People who will critique a show based on what actually happens in that show, and not some version that exists in their head to justify their weird beliefs. And you
Things that exist in their head to justify their beliefs, like making up a headcanon for why Wong isn't a fugitive.
Oh,
Dude, it's okay. He's incapable of realizing that contradiction. It's fine.
Wow,
Deserve better than
that's some audacity right there.
people who think that three guys chasing a woman through a parking lot.
They aren't chasing her. Fuck you. That's not what chasing is, you fucker. You added that. You added that element in. They aren't chasing her. Fuck, you can't. You know, like, words and language, like, mean things? It's not what I would call chase, you fucking retard.
Isn't that bad? Before we go, I do have one other Hulk nitpick. What's with all the stubble? Why does the Hulk
Fuck you.
have stubble now? Does he need to shave? Does he shave every day? Or is all
Because,
of his
yeah,
hair
this is
that
a
way
problem,
forever?
but everything
Because
else.
if he shaves, he could use an AL.
Fuck you. Okay.
that's probably the end of the video then.
We're not watching this fucking ad. EFAP watches the ad. We're not watching the ad. Fuck him.
Okay. That's fine.
So that was an awful video. It was very spite driven. I know exactly why he did it. He really doesn't like Nerdrotic and Critical Drinker and probably EFAP too. Yeah, he's... that's basically it. I mean, I would love for EFAP to cover this video. I really doubt they won't, because this almost feels like he wants them to, and they're against that. Like, if they see a video that's... It seems like it was made to be covered by EFAP, they won't cover it, because they don't want to... They don't want to, what's it called? Encourage that behavior.
Yeah.
But boy, they... they sure did attack them. Or sure did attack them.
Yeah, dude, what the fuck?
That was awful.
That was a really bad video.
Huh.
Do we have any other thoughts before the stream ends?
I have no other thoughts. I mean, I think we could have done better covering the video, but this is our first time doing something like this.
Yeah.
I wish I would have had more like references to pull to disprove some of his claims, which I don't think are true. I just don't have the references to disprove them. But yeah, I just like I really don't like his like throwing shade at other creators and only naming one and not referencing anything else they said. Just dude, trust me, this is what they said.
Yeah, just trust me.
Very, very spite driven, I feel.
Do you have anything to add, Nathan? Are you saying something but not pushing the button?
Did you guys ask me something?
Yes.
Yeah, I asked if you had any final thoughts on the video.
Yeah, I had to go to the bathroom, sorry. No, I don't really have any final thoughts.
He was wrong about a lot of stuff, and he contradicted. I got so, like, I thought it was really stupid. Just like whenever he brought up, they're like, "Oh, they just made up stuff that they didn't like." When it's like you made up stuff that you did like. Like it was, some of this was just in your head, and that's. Exactly
And again,
what
he didn't prove that they made it up, because I'm not even convinced. Like that wasn't even their argument half the time.
Yeah.
Just fucking, like, he thought this was the argument because he's strawmanning the fuck out of him. And what's funny is that some of the strawman he came up with was better than his fucking points. He couldn't even beat the strawman. He made the strawman and he tried to fight it and he was like, oh fuck, this strawman's kind of tough actually. Oh shit. Yeah. Fucking do better, my guy.
Yeah. Bad video. Bad take. I'm sorry, but that's just how it is.
Yeah, they're just making their own stuff based off their beliefs. Also, when Daredevil does show up, he'll be good.
I can guarantee it. Just
Sources
because it's
that made it the fuck up.
Alright, well, that's the end of the stream. We'll see you guys later.
Bye.
See ya.
See you. Bye bye.